Catch the spirit of the game, the Hastings Sodbusters.
So proud of the guys, just kept clawing, kept fighting back, and I'm beyond proud of them.
He sends a high fly ball to deep right center field. No one's going to catch that. It is going way back, and that is out of here for a home run. Luke Cossey, a monster shot, clears the 405 sign. Our first home run at Duncan Field since 2023. Touch 'em all, Luke Cossey.
Our fans recognize that, and they know that it's a family atmosphere at our place, and that's what we like.
One run will score. Here comes a second run home. Johnston digging for third. He slides in, and the Sodbusters have a 3-0 lead as Weston Johnston scorches one over the head of Jake Daly.
All the credit to the guys in the dugout playing really, really hard, keeping it simple, throwing strikes on the mound, going right at kids, and then just keep it simple up at the plate. And all the credit to the guys for just busting their butts night in, night out.
Catch the spirit of the game, the Hastings Sodbusters.
We're down to the final 4 games of the home schedule for the Hastings Sodbusters. The only off day during this 11-game homestand took place yesterday. Hastings has gone 5-2 so far. Was that good enough? Possibly. The ILB standings heading into today in the second half show Owyhee at 14-6, Spearfish 11-5, Casper 13-7, Hastings in 4th place at 10-6, Fremont eliminated from playoff competition with a loss yesterday. They're 11-11. As you look at the Sodbuster schedule, if you win 6 and things go your way, there's a very decent chance that you could be in the playoffs. Anything less, and it gets dicey. This final stretch begins with the Nebraska Prospects, a team that the Sodbusters have beaten 4 times so far this year. Beat them 7-1 back on June 5th. The 7-0 whitewash on June 20th. On July 14th, Hastings took a 9-3 victory, and 13-5 the margin on July 15th. So it's been fairly impressive in all the games. But this prospect squad is sneaky good. They have some decent players, and they showed Fremont that yesterday with a 7-2 victory on the road against the Moo. They come in at 8-19 on the year. They come in with nothing to lose and a chance to spoil Hastings' playoff hopes. I'm Steve Stein. Mason Hinrichs is our producer today. Ryan Valenta alongside. And we'll have our next Sodbuster Spotlight as he gets a chance to visit with right-hander reliever Nate Fisher. That interview coming your way next. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Ryan Valenta with one of our final few Sodbusters spotlights of the 2025 season. And we finally get an opportunity to talk with one of, if not the workhorse of the Sodbuster bullpen this summer. It is Nate Fisher, the guy who we've had a close eye on because he's one of the more unique pitchers out of the bullpen. First off, Nate, thank you so much for taking time with us. Tell us about your path to becoming a Hastings Sodbuster. How'd you get the connection here to Central Nebraska?
I was friends with Cooper and Christian before I came here, and Printer texted me, so he said he had a spot for me, and I was looking for a place to play, so I came here.
Was it always the plan to come play in summer ball? Were you looking at any other potential places to play summer ball?
Yeah, I was thinking about playing in my local league, but this league was a little bit better. Yeah, I wanted to play this summer because I didn't get to play in the spring.
Very good. Well, let's talk about your summer here. You've got the team lead in appearances out of the bullpen. Did you come into the summer knowing that you'd be throwing this much? This overall impression, how's the summer gone for you?
I was going to be first out of the pen, but some eligibility things happened over school ball, so usually I'm throwing a lot. I was kind of expecting it.
Well, another thing about your pitching style as well, you're one of the guys, and I'm going to put it bluntly, we never need the binoculars to know when you're warming up down there. The reason being, for anyone who may not know, is that you have a very unique way that you come set and deliver the baseball. Has it always been the style, the kind of the submarine and the squat in your delivery? How long have you been doing that on the mound?
I just added the squat this fall because I was in a bullpen and it just added 4 miles an hour. So I added the squat and I haven't looked back since.
Very cool. Have you always been kind of a submarine sidewinder pitcher as well?
I started my junior year of high school, but it was way different than what it is now.
Okay. Any reason that you decided to make the switch?
It's a lot harder to hit. I had to be different some way because I'm not going to throw hard.
Very good. Talk about your little pitch arsenal. So does it all kind of move the same? I know some submariners, they have kind of maybe 1 or 2 pitches. What's your pitch arsenal?
I have a sinker, slider, cutter, changeup. So I try and set my pitches up with my sinker and then play off of that.
What's your favorite pitch to throw?
Definitely my sinker.
Very cool. Is there any kind of pitch selection or type that you've been working on, maybe this summer or in the spring? Any thing that you might like to add to your repertoire?
Probably just better pace of how I'm pitching, like controlling the game better.
Very good. We're talking with Nate Fisher, one of the relievers for the Sodbuster bullpen. Tell us about home. You're an Oklahoma native. Tell us about growing up in Oklahoma and maybe how hometown compares to Hastings here.
It's not a lot different because it's farmland out in Oklahoma too. So I'm used to being out in the middle of nowhere.
Do you live on a kind of like an agricultural land, or where kind of your home is? Are you used to the outdoors in the plains?
Yeah, I live out in Bixby, so it's more of like farmland out there, like south of Tulsa. So
very cool. Tell us about your college experience, where your college is in the spring, and where you might be going next year, or if it's the same place.
Yeah, I'm going back to NEO next year, and then hopefully I can find a 4-year school to play at after that.
Okay, you're wearing a Cowboys shirt, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. You hope to find maybe yourself there one day?
Yeah, hopefully. My dream school is actually Miami because my dad played there, so it would be cool to play there.
Cool. Is that Miami, Florida, or Ohio? And what did your dad play?
Miami, Florida. He was a bullpen catcher there, but it was cool that he was on the team.
Super neat stuff. Nate Fisher, we're talking with one of these Sodbuster relievers. Talk about everybody's favorite thing to talk about this summer, education-wise. What style of study interests you, and do you have a career path set in mind right now?
Yeah, I'm doing sports management right now, and I want to keep my career in baseball, hopefully be a coach one day.
Baseball coach, super neat. And when you're not here at Duncan Field, which is very rare here, especially in this month of July, what is the kind of hobbies do you have? Do you hang out with the guys? Are you a video game guy? What do your hobbies look like this summer?
Yeah, I play a lot of video games. I've been playing the new NCAA game that came out.
Very good. We're talking with Nate Fisher, another one I kind of like to ask the out-of-town guys. Cuisine, you're from the Midwest. Technically, Oklahoma might be a little bit far south, but Midwest cuisine, we've had the runzas here. Have you had maybe something kind of cuisine that you haven't had here in Hastings that you were unaware of this summer, like that runza?
Yeah, I had runza, and I recently had Culver's, too. I really like Culver's.
Let's talk about baseball-wise in the professional or collegiate league. Obviously, you talked about your dream school at Miami, Florida. Do you have a favorite MLB team that you like to follow or players in the major leagues?
Yeah, I've been a big Dodgers fan. My family's been big Dodgers fans. They had season tickets when I was younger. So
very good. How about some MLB players? If you can, or if you are an MLB players, guys, how about a Mount Rushmore? So you have 4 guys, maybe your 4 favorite players of all time.
I got to throw David Ortiz on there.
Nice.
Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
Probably Tyler Rogers because he's my favorite pitcher. And then let's go Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson. And Tyler Rogers, he's one of kind of the submariner guys, and they've watched him or taken some pitches out of his book maybe?
I watch a lot of his slow motion and a lot of his YouTube videos on his mechanics and all that.
Very cool. Final question for Nate Fisher here tonight. Growing up, have you always been a baseball player? And if so, maybe what's a favorite baseball memory you had? It doesn't have to be with the Sodbusters, maybe in high school or back in your youth.
Yeah, I've always been playing baseball since a young age, and my favorite memory was playing in the Connie Mack World Series right out of high school. It was a great experience.
And where was that, and what made that so great?
It was in Farmington, New Mexico, and we were playing in front of 8,000 plus people every night, so it was amazing.
Very cool. Nate Fisher, the workhorse out of the Sodbuster bullpen. He is our latest Sodbuster Spotlights. I'm Ryan Valenta. Thanks for tuning in.
Hastings Sodbusters baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate wood bat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to HastingsSodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back, or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Welcome back to historic Duncan Field as we bring you Hastings Sodbuster Baseball. Hastings getting set to go against the Nebraska Prospects on a really nice evening for baseball. We had some sprinkles when we first arrived, but it doesn't look too threatening today as temperatures have cooled off nicely. It was odd that we were supposed to have like a heat index advisory each of the last 2 days, but it has cooled off nicely in the afternoon, so kind of glad that the heat that we were expecting really never came to pass. It was Hastings and Nebraska. A critical 4-game series for the Sodbusters. Need to probably win at least 3 of 4, setting up a 2-game road trip to Oahe this weekend as the Independence League baseball schedule coming to a close. Ryan Valenta, we can look at that. These guys don't need to worry about that, but it is still a mess with just a few games remaining for everyone.
Well, and you just thought you're still surprised, like I am and a lot of Independence League fans are, that the Oahe Zap are still on top of the second half standings. We've seen them get hot in past couple years that we've done games together, Steve, but that winning streak usually fizzles out pretty quickly, and then afterwards it's just kind of mediocre for the Zap the rest of the season. But a 14-6 record. They hold the lead for now, 1 game above the Casper Spuds. Spearfish be 2 games behind them, and Hastings just 1 game behind them. So Hastings has some ground. They're currently 4 games behind Oahe right now, but Oahe only has 4 games left, with 2 of them against the Sodbusters, 2 against Fremont. Hastings has 4 against the Prospects here tonight through Friday, and then those 2 games at Oahe. So theoretically, even if Fremont were to beat, or if Oahe were to beat Fremont in the 2 games and the Sodbusters win out, meaning that Hastings would go 6-0, Oahe would go 2-2. That would give the Sodbusters a 16-6 record and Oahe only 16-8 record, meaning that Hastings would end up being the top team. But you still have got to worry about Casper and Spearfish. They play each other 5 times in the last week, the last half of week here. So if you're a Sodbuster fan, go Spearfish. You want the Sasquatch to win that, and then you want Oahe to hopefully lose a few games, because if nonetheless, if Spearfish comes out on top of the second half standings, then hopefully the Sodbusters would find themselves at the top, or the second place team in the ILB. Lots of scenarios, Steve. We could talk all day about them. All the guys need to do is just come out and win. But like you mentioned, this Prospects team, they've been very hit and miss this season in the form of games played. They've gotten lots of time off. They haven't played very many consecutive games the second half of the season. So they've only had 1 game since the Sodbusters last saw them at the start of last week against Fremont. So a team that maybe isn't so well oiled. Maybe they're a little bit stiff and rusty, for a metaphorical term right there. Hastings had their 1 day off. Hopefully that was a much needed day off, and look to keep the pressure on because, like you said, you got to have at least 3 of the 4, and you'd love all 4.
And for the Prospects, they only had one game, but it was a pretty good one, and it was yesterday. So they ought to be ready to go as they went to Fremont. A scoreless tie through 3. Then Nebraska put up 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. They ended up adding a run in the 8th and 3 in the 9th, beat the Moo 7-2 to knock Fremont out of any kind of playoff possibility. They did have a late change in the schedule. When we were visiting on Sunday, Fremont was scheduled to play Oahe Monday and Tuesday. They have moved that series back to later in the week, and it's probably better for the Sodbusters in a lot of different ways because Oahe now will come to Fremont Thursday and Friday, so they won't have any time to really rest up for the Sodbusters for their Saturday-Sunday road trip. So it was an interesting dynamic because we were talking about Fremont on Sunday that they were going to have a pair of 7-inning games on Monday. It turned out they only had the 9-inning contest, and they lost their makeup game with the Nebraska Prospects, and the Prospects coming out with that victory and ending Fremont's playoff hopes. So Fremont going to be playing out the string here in this final week as they'll have the 2 games left with Oahe and then 2 more with the Prospects next weekend. For the Hastings Sodbusters, it's weird as you look at the standings right now and you think of 4 teams that are battling for it, and Spearfish, the leader, or I should say Oahe, the leader, and Hastings, the 4th place team, are the teams that control their own destiny. Because if Oahe wins out, they would win because they've got 2 games against Hastings. The Sodbusters, if they win out, you mentioned the fact that they would finish in front of Oahe, and since the Sodbusters have 6 games remaining, Casper only has 5 games remaining. The Sodbusters could jump Casper if they win out. So it's a weird dynamic that the team in 4th place actually controls its own destiny heading into this final week of the season. We'll be scoreboard watching a lot with Casper and Spearfish in particular this week. But for the Sodbusters, they just need to keep their eye on the prize, and that is trying to find a way to defeat the Nebraska Prospects 4 straight and give themselves a chance going to Oahe. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Hastings, Chase Miller leads off and plays shortstop. I think the first time he has been in the leadoff spot in the batting order. Of course, Drew Vega ending his time with the Sodbusters this past Sunday, so Miller is the new leadoff man. Luke Causey bats second. He is in right field. Brady Alexander, the center fielder, bats third. Cale Jensen DHs and bats fourth. It's Weston Johnston doing the catching and batting fifth. Batting sixth, Jackson Crane in left field. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Tyler Welch. Batting eighth, Luke Ray at third base, and batting ninth, the newcomer, Max Israel. He gets the start at second base for the Hastings Sodbusters. Spencer Schmidt, college teammate of Max Israel, will get the start for the Hastings Sodbusters. So once again, it's Miller, Causey, Alexander, Jensen, Johnston, Crane, Welsh, Ray, Israel, with Schmidt on the mound. For the Nebraska Prospects, Paul Schuyler leads off. He plays second base. It's Ripken Fleck at third. Jacob Perrin is the right fielder and batting third. It's Mike Valdivia, the shortstop, batting fourth. Aiden Martin at first base, batting fifth. Batting sixth in designated hitting is Finn Hochstein. Sean Robinson in left field, batting seventh. Isaac Borges in center field, batting eighth. And Grayson Clark bats ninth. He's the catcher. Beckett Lund makes his debut for the Nebraska Prospects. So talk about not having any kind of scouting report on the guy. He comes out and starts his first game of the year here in the final week of the regular season. Prospects once again with Schuyler, Fleck, Perrin, Valdivia, Martin, Hochstein, Robinson, Borges, Clark, with Lund on the mound. Sodbusters under the direction of Josh Prenner, back from his weekend off. Corey Corrand will be the assistant coach. Sodbusters coming in 26-18, 10-6 in the second half, 19-8 here at Duncan Field, and 7-3 in the yellow jerseys. That is probably their most successful jersey of the year. The Nebraska Prospects 8-19. They're 3-6 in the second half. Another one of the travel-only teams here in the Independence League. Sodbusters for the season hitting .261, a team ERA at 4.49. The Nebraska Prospects, a team batting average of .236 for the season. Their ERA at 8.31. They've actually brought that down a notch in their last couple of outings. And again, Hastings is 4-0 against the Prospects, hitting .291 against Nebraska so far this year with a .97 earned run average. The prospects against Hastings, a 193 average, a 6.56 ERA. Sodbusters averaging 9 runs and giving up 2.3 every time they play the Nebraska prospects this year. As they've kind of turned things around in terms of the series, they won 7 of 9 last year. 2 years ago in 2023 when the prospects went 25-9, almost half of their losses coming to Hastings, a team that was kind of outmanned by that prospect squad, but Hastings a respectable 4-5 against that prospects team. And back in 2022 when the prospects made their first appearance in this league, Hastings went 4-2 against the prospects. As Steve Stein, Ryan Valenta, Mason Hinrichs are producer today, and 79 degrees here at Duncan Field. Winds out of the south at 9 miles an hour. Not much wind. Ryan Valenta, if you're going to pick a day to play baseball in the middle of July, this is a pretty good one.
This is now the third game in this homestand, because it's still technically a homestand since we haven't gone away from Duncan Field in over a week now. Third time that it's been just cloudy skies and a little bit overcast. There was some, like you mentioned, raindrops earlier, but it does not look like there's any threat for rain tonight for the Sodbusters. Winning is the main goal, but also staying focused. We have seen sometimes in the home series where the Sodbusters have gotten away from their approach at the plate. Some guys have maybe started trying to swing for the fences a little bit too much, and even that Monday or the Sunday game against Fremont in the second game where they suffered that epic 9th inning meltdown and lost to Fremont after leading 4-0 heading into the final inning. It's a little bit demoralizing, but hopefully the guys are able to flush that on their day off and get some much-needed rest as too, because the guys have been injured. Guys have been nagging injuries all summer long. They've been hurt for a game or two. They've been playing through injuries, but with the roster getting a little bit slim now and lots of guys on the opening day roster not on the roster anymore, the guys need to stay healthy and keep their mojo up, because focus is just as important as athletic talent. And before we get too much farther, highlight the guy throwing out the first pitch right here. That's Mike Moritz.
Ah, okay.
And he works for the National Weather Service in Hastings, so you can imagine that him and Scott Galusha they're either buddies or they Mike hates it every time he calls.
No, it's Scott again.
Scott, he makes sure that there's always weather safety here when there is a possibility for weather. So Mike, a lot of the times, he is probably handling those phone calls asking, what's the latest forecast looking like? But Mike, I've interviewed him before for news stories, and he's a super pleasant guy. He's always very helpful. So neat that we get to recognize him. Hey, thanks for answering all these phone calls.
Yep.
Well, you can throw the first pitch out tonight if you want to.
Yeah, very, very cool. And Mike Moritz, he's got a regional tie here. He's from Aurora and was, I think, in Aurora grade school when the big tornadoes hit 45 years ago, and so has been around the region that long. So he has seen some of the big weather events in this region, and his group does a really nice job. Mentioned 5-2 during the homestand. The Sodbusters hitting .277 during that span and a team ERA of 2.75, so pretty good numbers both ways. .275 during the homestand. They're .261 batting average for the year. On the season here at home, during their 19 wins and 8 losses, .267 at Duncan Field, a 2.64 ERA, averaging a 7-4 win every time they take the field here at Duncan. As Hastings getting set to go against the Nebraska Prospects, a team they have swept so far this year. See if they can make it 5 in a row. They've lost to travel teams so far this year a couple of different times. Disappointing setback at the hands of the Bison, and they actually lost 3 times to the Plainsmen. Plainsmen winning 3 of their 4 games against the Hastings Sodbusters. You just hope that some of those opportunities, some of those games don't come back to haunt the Hastings Sodbusters here as they look toward the playoffs, as they could find a way to win the second half or have the second best overall record. Then they will make the playoffs. Spearfish, if they win the second half, you'll take the team with the second best overall record. Right now, Hastings about a game and a half back of Casper for that. Casper 29-16, Hastings at 26-18. And I mentioned the second half standings with Hawaii on top at 14-6. Spearfish and Casper between Hastings and them, and Hastings at 10-6. But a win in every game, and the Sodbusters would be in the playoffs. But that's a pretty tough ask any time in baseball to win 6 in a row, albeit Hastings did start the season with an amazing run, 9 straight wins. So if you can have a strong start, a strong end of the year, well, why not? Let's go to the playoffs.
I just love it how almost everybody except Fremont is in contention. But they had to. I don't mean that as a diss against Fremont. Just saying that this late in the season, that everybody had a shot up until recently.
Yep.
So the Sodbusters, Sasquatch, obviously are in it. The Spuds and the Zap. Even the Zap, too. They have struggled over the past few years in their couple years of existence. So glad that they're still in contention, as are the Sodbusters.
Hey, let's take it out of the national anthem as we get a little brass quintet to play our national anthem. This is going to be fun. Back to Duncan Field, 370 down the left field line, 405 to the alleys, 408 to straightaway center, and 367 down the right field line as Hastings will send Spencer Schmidt to the mound today. I was hoping to get an opportunity to see Marcus Miller in the starter's role today, but we feel for Marcus, who had a lawn mowing accident, got some stitches on his foot, may still be able to pitch this week, but didn't feel like he was ready to go today. And so we will see Spencer Schmidt, former pitcher for the Plainsmen, and he had a 2.33 ERA in 6 appearances for them. So far, 2 appearances for the Sodbusters, including against these Nebraska prospects. We're 2 innings, no runs on 2 hits against Fremont on Sunday. He goes 2/3 of an inning, allowing 1 run on 3 hits, a very respectable 2.62 ERA when you calculate it by 7 innings, as they generally do 9-inning stats, but if you play a 7-inning game in your last one, then that's how they calculate the ERA, as he's going to be facing the top of the order, Skyler, Fleck, and Perrin. Sodbuster defense, Weston Johnston behind the plate, Tyler Welsh at first base, Max Israel at second, Luke Gray at third. The shortstop is Chase Miller. The outfield left to right, Jackson Crane, Brady Alexander, and Luke Causey, as we get set to bring you Sodbuster Baseball. 4 more games in the regular season here at home, and maybe, hopefully, a couple of playoff games. They'll end the regular season on Sunday. There'll be an off day for everybody on Monday, and then the playoffs would begin Tuesday against the second half champs for the games 1 and 2 of the series, and then games 3, 4, and 5 would be at Spearfish. Here's Paul Schuyler stepping to the plate. UNO guy, formerly Cloud County Thunderbird. He's from Bellevue East, and he's been really good since joining the team late. 9 out of 17 for a .529 average. He's got a home run, couple of doubles, 3 runs batted in. A 3-hit game yesterday against Fremont. This prospect team, they have got some dudes, even though they're maybe shorthanded down the stretch. They've got some good position players, and then adding a catcher yesterday, adding a pitcher today, so they're piecing it together here in the final week of the season as well. As Schmidt winds and delivers and brings this one inside for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes on Paul Schuyler. Schuyler against the Hastings Sodbusters, 2 for 5 with hits in each of the 2 games he played in, 1 for 3 and 1 for 2 with a triple. Watches this one go by for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on Paul Schuyler. Just getting rolling here at Duncan Field. If you're going to be in central Nebraska anytime in the next 3 days, last chance to see the Sodbusters in the regular season. 3-0 pitch, across for strike, 3-1 on Paul Schuyler. Paul Schuyler, right-handed hitter, did not play much of the first half of this ILB season. Swings and fouls the pitch away, but has been a nice addition. Certainly Creighton Jacobitz has the scouting report on Paul Schuyler, former Cloud County Community College guy from down in Concordia, Kansas. Jacobitz went there. Jacobitz going to be taking his next level on to Arkansas Tech as a 3-2 pitch just misses. Schuyler draws the walk. Schmidt thought he had strike 3, and the first walk of the game issued. Daniel Roth, the home plate umpire. T. Smith is working the field.
Well, our flight scope would have, we went according to flight scope, would have rung up Schuyler on that pitch right there. TU gets on board at first base. Even though he's only got 2 hits, feels like he's been on base a lot against the Sodbusters.
This one taken the other way to left field off the bat of Ripken Fleck. And that will not be an issue for Jackson Crane, who is in his tracks for the first out of the ball game. So Ripken Fleck's been a pretty good hitter too, 333, and he is allowed first out. 1 on, 1 out now for Jacob Perrin.
2 different approaches. Schuyler patiently waiting throughout that at bat. Fleck going right after it.
Jacob Perrin, Southeast Community College guy from Bellevue East. He's a returnee. Got a couple of home runs this year, 253. He's first pitch swinging and bounces it foul. No balls and a strike. Fielded bare hand by Luke Ray over there at third, getting his first start at that position for the Hastings Sodbusters. As Hastings kind of piecing together the lineup here with guys coming and going. And Luke Ray, former Sodbuster, nice to see him join the team for this final couple of weeks of the season. Pitch outside, 1 ball and 1 strike on Jacob Perrin. Perrin 2 for 13 against the Sodbusters. Went 0 for 3 yesterday. Did score a run against Fremont in that prospect victory, 7-2. Big swing over the top of that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes as they out-hit the Moo 12-6 and won the game 7-2, scoring 4 runs in the 8th and 9th inning combined to pull away. Big lead. Schuyler goes. 1-2 pitch taken high. Throw down to second base. Schuyler is out. Perfect pitch to handle for Weston Johnston. Up out of the zone, and he got a great throw down, and Paul Schuyler erased.
Why we love seeing Weston behind the plate, because Johnston makes Schuyler Gonston. That's his 6th runner he has caught stealing this year, the most on the team.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and I can't stop laughing. That is an awesome thing for Ryan Valenta, best announcer in the league. That's why. Gonston. Okay.
Johnston makes him Gonston.
Yeah,
we'll put that one in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Write that one down. When Ryan Valenta goes to the Baseball Hall of Fame, that will be right on his statue in Cooperstown.
I'll put that in my reel when I'm applying for ESPN next month.
All right. So the minimum come to the plate for the prospects in the top of the first. Hastings coming up. No score. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
At Hastings College, we celebrate all the ways you shine. From more than 20 athletic teams to band, choir, theater, and art, plus esports, creative writing, speech, and media. Join in to earn a scholarship and find your people, the friends you'll hang out and have fun with. It's what makes Hastings great. So check out Hastings College, where your experience matters, in the classroom and in the activities you love to do. Visit us at hastings.edu.
Core CPAs is your locally owned, full-service accounting firm. Our team of professionals have years of accounting experience and focus on building in-depth relationships with our clients. Our comprehensive and customized solutions are tailored to your specific needs. We pride ourselves in our commitment to integrity, objectivity, and professionalism. At Core CPAs, we provide tax services, payroll, bookkeeping, assurance and financial reporting, and much more. Visit our website at corecpas.us.
Go to the bottom half of inning number 1, and a late guy, or a late roster addition, if you will, for the Nebraska prospects is left-handed pitcher Beckett Lund. He is from Norris High School He's gone to Hutchinson Community College. He's going to be going to Northeast Community College in the fall. And Beckett Lund, a left-hander, getting a start today against the Hastings Sodbusters. Defensively for the Prospects, Grayson Clark is behind the plate. He joined the team yesterday. Tell you more about his story as this day goes on. Aiden Martin is at first base. Second baseman is Paul Schuyler. Third baseman Ripken Fleck. At the shortstop position, it's Mike Valdivia. Outfield left to right, Sean Robinson, Isaac Borges, and Jacob Perrin. And here comes Chase Miller, his first game at the top of the order for the Hastings Sodbusters, batting .222 on the year. A couple of doubles, 5 runs batted in, 13 runs scored. Has done a nice job down the stretch, particularly defensively at that shortstop position. And he's kind of mentally built to be in the leadoff spot. He takes a lot of pitches, gets a lot of walks, finds his way on, and he'll hopefully do that. And has had a decent homestand, 5 out of 18 coming into this game. Watches this pitch go by for ball 1. Chase Miller, 1 ball and 1 strike on Chase, a Saginaw Valley State Cardinal. He is from Indiana and a big Hoosiers fan. 1-1 delivery is low for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom half of the first inning, Spencer Schmidt worked around a leadoff walk, a caught stealing helped out, and then Schmidt able to get a strikeout to end the frame. 2-1 delivery. Well out of the zone. 3-1 now on Chase Miller. Hastings Sodbusters looking to get 9 games over 500 for what would be the 7th time this year. They've never been able to eclipse that and get to 10 games over. 3-1 delivery on the way from Lund. Outside, and it's a leadoff walk for Chase Miller, so each team given a free pass to begin their half of the first inning.
Lefty missing a little bit out of the zone low early in the first at-bat. Some guys just takes a few batters to get used to the mound. You mentioned that Lund's a Norris High School graduate. They've got about a dirt of a field as you can get. I say that because they have all dirt and grass. And Hutchinson didn't see much time for playing time in the spring. Who knows how much he's been thrown this summer.
Pitch is taken upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. It's fascinating, these late season replacements, and we'll get a chance to hear from a couple of those guys from a Sodbuster perspective. The 2 Joshes in interviews coming up. Here's a bouncing ball off the glove of the shortstop, grabs it, will throw to first in time. Everybody's safe. Thought maybe even after the misplay, Valdivia would have had a chance to stand on second, and runners will be at first and second.
That's exactly what I was thinking right there. I thought he was going to tip out to the second baseman, Schuyler, but Valdivia picked it up. All he needed to do was race over and maybe touch second. Perhaps he was a little bit away from the base farther than we thought from our perspective, but I definitely think he could have gotten it out there.
So as it stands, runners at first and second, nobody out, a walk and an error, and Hastings trying to jump on top early with Brady Alexander starting in center field, and he is squaring to bunt, takes a strike. No balls and 1 strike. You see Hastings maybe playing some small ball, decent speed. You may not consider, but the Sodbusters have done a lot of double steals this year in this situation. Let's see what they do at 0-1. Pitch taken high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Brady Alexander for the Hastings Sodbusters. 370 in his time with Hastings. Couple of doubles, 5 runs batted in, 10 runs scored already, and 4 stolen bases since joining the team after the Plainsman season came to an end. 1-1 delivery on the way, and this one skied out of play. It'll go to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Brady Alexander. He'll be our Sodbuster spotlight before tomorrow's game with the Prospects. Try to get a few more of these interviews done and feature players as we wind down the home schedule. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lund brings it home. Line drive into right field for a base hit. Thought the second baseman was going to get it. Didn't happen. Coming around third to score is Chase Miller. The first 3 have reached. Brady Alexander has an RBI single. Paul Schuyler, great effort, but just didn't have the height. Miller scores. Causey at second, and Hastings has a 1-0 lead to begin things against Beckett Lund.
Sodbusters taking the lead early, and not a bad pitch from Lund there, the lefty. It was just Alexander going down to get it. That pitch was at the knees, so perfectly placed strike if you let it go by. Alexander, a laser beam to right center field, and still nobody out.
Hastings would love to put a big, huge, crooked number as Cale Jensen squares to bat and takes a strike. No balls and a strike on Cale Jensen, doing the DHing today for the Hastings Sodbusters. Coming in at 241. Does have a home run, couple of triples, a double, and 11 runs batted in to go along with 11 runs scored. He's squaring to bunt again and will get this one down. The only play will be to first. The throw is in time. Lund had a notion to go to third, then almost threw it away. Good job for Aiden Martin to grab it and make the tag. There is one out, but runners at second and third now with the Sodbusters on top 1-0 and the leading RBI guy coming to the plate.
Yeah, Jensen can probably count on one hand how many times he's been asked to bunt this year, but he gets the successful sacrifice down. And right back to the pitcher, almost out about third, but took the for sure out at first. A good decision by Lund.
Weston Johnston wearing number 18 for the first time this year, batting in the right-handed box and takes a first pitch high for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes on Weston Johnston. 320 on the year, including 316 here at home, 4 triples, 7 doubles, 36 runs batted in, 28 runs scored, leads the team in most of the offensive categories. 1-0 delivery, way high and outside, most notably the RBI total, and this is just where you want him. If nothing else, a ground ball to a middle infielder, you can get another run home. Sodbusters with the 1-0 lead, runners at second and third, and just one man out. Beckett Lund trying to work his way out of a jam here in the first. Pitch misses high and away. Good approach for Johnston, not trying to do too much. He's 3-0, and if there's a guy on this team who would have the green light at 3-0, it would probably be Weston Johnston. We'll see if that's the case here. Jackson Crane waits on deck. 3-0 delivery, taking all the way. It's high. Sodbusters will have their second walk of the inning. Man's reached on an air, a single and a sacrifice. 3 out of the 4 have reached, and Jackson Crane, chance to do some major damage for the Hastings Sodbusters.
That's a good job by Johnston, being patient. That pitch was pretty much center cut, just a little bit high. Some guys, that's just a bit too irresistible, but Johnston does his job to keep the line moving. Bases loaded for Jackson Crane.
240 on the year for Jackson, 19 runs batted in and 16 runs scored. And back to the line will go Beckett Lund. He'll deliver. Just misses ball one, 1 ball and no strikes. Daniel Roth, the home plate umpire T. Smith, working the field here. Fairly tight zone overall in the early going, as the 1-0 delivery is taken outside. 2 balls and no strikes. A walk to begin the game. Luke Causey then grounded it back up the middle in what we thought maybe could have been a double play ball. An error meant no runs, or no outs were recorded. This pitch is way high and away, 3-0. And Brady Alexander, an RBI single, then a sacrifice bunt for Jensen. Johnston then walked, and Jackson Crane way ahead in the count here, and he's certainly taking for the Hastings Sodbusters. Catches the inside corner, 3-1 on Crane, with Tyler Welsh waiting on deck. Hastings coming off that tough loss in the second game of the game and a half played on Sunday. 3-1 delivery, high and away. Jackson Crane earns a bases-loaded walk to bring home Causey. Alexander ends up at third base, Johnston at second, and here's Tyler Welch trying to keep the line moving, as there's going to be a meeting of the infield here to try to settle Beckett Lund, and part of it is even just figuring out what the guy's name is. This is how new he is. The head coach for the Nebraska Prospects, Gabe Shemwell, actually wrote down a different first name, and he said, I thought the guy's name was this, but it is Beckett Lund. And like I say, travel ball, sometimes literally you're meeting players. By the way, you're starting the game.
On the scorecard, you can see Bennett crossed out. Bennett Beckett, close enough.
Yep.
But still bases loaded for Tyler Welsh. They did the Jason Frew did sort of his more in-depth intros, and Tyler was dubbed the Barbarian as his nickname.
Well, hopefully he can crush one to a gap right here. He'll take ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Tyler Welch. Coming to the end of his playing days. Baseball, 167 on the year, a triple, 3 doubles, 11 runs batted in, 12 runs scored. He's graduated from Hastings College, going to be headed down to Arizona. As that pitch a little bit outside, 2 balls and no strikes on Welsh. Something to swing at here, perhaps. He's got a couple of multi-hit games this year for the Hastings Sodbusters, maybe taking it 2-0. And the delivery outside, 3-0. Chance at back-to-back bases loaded walks right here. It's been tough so far for Beckett Lund. Hasn't gotten some close calls. That was nowhere close. And if you're not hitting your spots, you're not going to get the calls. 3-0 delivery. Across for a strike. 3-1 now on Tyler Welch. Welch coming in at 2 for 12 against the Nebraska Prospects. Hits in each of the first 2 games of this homestand, though, against this team. 3-1 delivery. And that's across for strike. Now 3-2. Lund trying to come all the way back, as Welch had an RBI and a run scored in the first game of the homestand, and then went 1 for 5 with a triple, a run batted in and a run scored. Lines this one foul. Good job of staying alive for Tyler Welch, making Lund work, because you don't know how much depth there is on this Nebraska Prospects team. They already have 28 pitches thrown for Lund here in the first.
And only 11 strikes.
3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and the Sodbusters score again. It's not real entertaining baseball right now, but no style points down the stretch. Find a way to get yourself a victory, no matter how it looks, and Hastings has a 3-0 lead.
As much as you want to be the guy to drive it in the center field gap, to drive in 2 or 3 runs, be patient, keep the line moving, and like you said, who knows how much depth this Prospects bullpen has, and Lund making his season debut. He is in some big trouble here in the first.
Here's Luke Ray coming to the plate now for the Hastings Sodbusters. Watches the first pitch go by for strike 1. Luke Ray, a late addition to the Sodbuster roster, 1 for 6 in 3 games. Went 0 for 1 against the Prospects back on July 15th. 0-1 delivery, and swings and misses here. Quickly 2 strikes on Luke Ray. He is another one of the Arkansas Tech guys. Played for the Sodbusters a year ago, and batted .200 with 3 doubles, 10 runs batted in, and 18 runs scored. This pitch nearly back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good stop there from Grayson Clark, who is going to be a high school senior at Lincoln Abraham in Council Bluffs. 1-2 delivery, and that's fouled away. It's still 1-2 on Luke Ray for the Hastings Sodbusters. Bases are full. Johnston at third, Crane at second, Tyler Welch at first. The last 2 have drawn bases loaded walks to reach. 1-2 delivery, grounded foul. A good job there by the first base coach, Corey Caranda. And it remains 1-2. Luke Ray, guy we haven't had a chance to visit with. One of the more intelligent, certainly one of the more aggressive majors, mechanical engineering. Watches this pitch go by. It gets by the catcher, and the Sodbusters will score their 4th run of the game in a wild pitch. Clark went out, tried to grab it off the end of his glove. Johnston scores, Crane to third, Welch to second, and 4 have scored for the Hastings Sodbusters on just 1 hit.
Well, when it rains, it pours, and not much that Clark could do behind the plate to stop that. Lund, he has been wild, not just out of the zone, but kind of everywhere. High, low, outside. It's tough for a catcher to know where it's going to miss and be ready for it.
2-2 pitch, and Ray, another good job of getting a piece of this one, batting in the 8th spot today for the Hastings Sodbusters. An epic at bat going right here, as this is going to be the 8th pitch of the at bat already to Luke Ray. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss. So Lund, a much-needed strikeout, and we'll see the newcomer Max Israel step to the plate for the Hastings Sodbusters, already on top 4-0.
And there's a good fastball by Lund at the top of the zone. He had been connecting with the top of the zone a little bit. He is in the middle 80s with his fastball here tonight.
RBI chance in his first trip to the plate for the Hastings Sodbusters. Max Israel, he's from St. Scholastica College, from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. He's an education major. 0-1 delivery. Takes this pitch a little bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike, taking the roster spot of Drew Vega. Hastings adding a new player here the final week of the regular season. 1-1 delivery, and it's sprayed foul, and he was actually added to the roster on Sunday. That was the last day you could add a player and still have them eligible for the playoffs. If the Sodbusters do make the playoffs, Max will be available. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch. Called strike 3, so strikeouts to the 8 and 9 hitters to minimize the damage somewhat for Beckett Lund. But the Sodbusters do score 4 runs on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 2 men left. We head to the second. It's Hastings 4, the Prospects 1, or I should say the Prospects nothing, and this is Sodbuster Baseball.
Blue Fork Kitchen features elevated comfort food in a family-friendly, fast casual environment. With a full menu, you can sit down for a nice meal or order online for pickup. From salads and wraps to burgers and steaks, Blue Fork Kitchen has your kind of food. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m., with a special brunch buffet Sunday from 9 to 2 p.m. Blue Fork Kitchen is located in the Cimarron Plaza, 38th and Osborne Drive in Hastings. Like them on Facebook.
Make your next pit stop at the Coach's Corner. A friendly staff and a deep lineup of snacks. You can find Coach's Corner in North Hastings on Osborne Drive East. More than just a gas station, Coach's Corner is the place to get delicious pizza made fresh for you and your family. Don't take our word for it. It's so good it'll be featured at selected Sodbuster home games this season. For a convenient and clean experience, be sure to check out the new convenience store in North Hastings, Coach's Corner. Out of the second inning, Hastings 4, Nebraska nothing. Sodbusters getting 4 runs on just 1 hit. The RBI single from Brady Alexander, and so now Spencer Schmidt giving a little bit of run support. He's another St. Scholastica guy, so college teammate with Max Israel. Spencer doing a nice job as he had to come in and finish off the game against Fremont. A really disappointing Game 2 outcome for the Sodbusters, who led it 2-0, make it 4-0 heading into the final frame, and couldn't hang on, getting up 4 runs in the 7th, and then a 5 spot in the extra frame to lose 9-5. As here comes Nebraska's Mike Valdivia. Iowa Western guy is a Millard West High School grad. 357 for the summer, a couple of home runs, 7 doubles, 13 runs batted in, 13 runs scored, and he had a big game yesterday against Fremont in their victory over the Moo. As Valdivia able to get 3 hits, a double, 3 runs batted in, and 2 runs scored as the Prospects beat the Moo 7-2. Pitch taken outside, 2 balls and no strikes on Mike Valdivia. Spencer Schmidt walked the first man he faced, got a fly out, and a caught stealing before striking out Jacob Perrin. 2-0 delivery. Foul back, pops up over the backstop and into the crowd. No, little kids are running after it.
What is wrong?
Ryan Valente, you have a chance to go get yourself a baseball. If you, there's somebody. You could go take it away from him probably. I think you could win that battle. Here's called strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'd take a couple of them to get that away. But I mean, if I'm that age and I'm in the stands, I'll probably catch. I'm diving on the concrete to get that ball.
Darn
but
right.
Nobody here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, where are the kids? They're on their phones. Kids, watch the game. Go after foul balls. Gen Zers, or what are we? Gen AA now? I don't know. Are we past Gen Z? 2 balls, 2 strikes on Valdivia after that foul ball. Here's the pitch. And that misses. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A long extended at bat for Mike Valdivia, leadoff man here in the second inning against the Hastings Sodbusters. Just 1 for 10. Does have a double and a run batted in. Hits this one hard to center field. Brady Alexander started out, will move to his right and make the catch. He's pretty good out there in center field. Hastings blessed with a lot of good outfielders, and there's 1 out here in the second.
You could almost send any of the outfielders anywhere in the outfield, and they would probably have no problem out there. Lots of guys that play center field, and even the corner outfielders, too, done a really nice job.
Aiden Martin, the first baseman, bats now. Righty-righty matchup as Spencer Schmidt winning that long extended battle with Valdivia. First pitch misses for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Aiden Martin and Ellsworth Community College guys had a good summer for the Prospects, 379 for him on this campaign. Loops this one into center field, and that is going to be caught. Brady Alexander. Well, we were just giving you some props, and how about 2 good plays for the Ohio Bobcat?
That's a Division I play right there. Alexander read it perfectly, softly hit off the bat by Martin. A do-or-die play, had to reach his glove fully extended out there and put a star next to that one in your scorebook.
Here's Finn Hochstein doing the DH job today. He will take strike 1. As Finn Hochstein, 227 for the summer, a couple of runs batted in, 9 runs scored. Hutchinson Community College, his place of education after he graduated from Seward High School. 1 ball and 1 strike on Finn Hochstein. 4 for 11, including a 3-hit game against the Hastings Sodbusters. Lines this one foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Finn Hochstein. Hochstein, 1 for 5 yesterday. Knocked one in and scored one. 12 hits for the Prospects in their victory over the Fremont Move. 1-2 delivery on the way. Schmidt was headed toward the dugout and ringing him up. Finn Hochstein thought he got his bat checked, but the appeal down to T. Smith, and Hochstein goes down. Second strikeout for Spencer Schmidt. We head to the bottom half of inning number 2. Hastings 4, Nebraska nothing. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Hastings Sodbusters baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate wood bat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to HastingsSodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters Baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
To the bottom half of inning number 2, the Hastings Sodbusters on top 4-0. Good start for Spencer Schmidt as he has faced the minimum through 2 with a couple of strikeouts. The St. Scholastica guy. Good addition to the Sodbusters after he pitched for the Plainsmen earlier this summer. And it'll be the second inning for Beckett Lund, who's already thrown 41 pitches, so probably not long for this game. You can throw 100. Can't start an inning after 100 pitches unless you're throwing a no-hitter. And this is debut for the Nebraska Prospects. It was a tough first inning. Sodbusters batting 9 in the first. They'll be back to the top of the order with Miller, Causey, and Alexander. And great patience shown. And like I say, saw the Sodbusters score a couple of first inning runs against Fremont on Sunday. But then the offense didn't do much until the 6th inning. Just couldn't quite get enough tack on runs. A 4-0 lead, you thought it was going to be enough, but Fremont rallies for 4 in the top of the 7th, and they win it in the 8th with a 5 spot. Had only 2 hits heading into the 7th, had 10 hits in the 7th and 8th combined. Pitch taken for a strike to Chase Miller. Miller, really good first at bat. He made Lund work really hard before finally drawing the walk. 0-1 delivery, that's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Chase Miller for the Hastings Sodbusters. Against the Prospects, so far this year, 1 for 8. Lines this one to center field. Pretty much in his tracks, making the catch will be Isaac Borges. There's 1 out here in the 2nd. So Miller retreats to the dugout. That will bring to the plate Luke Causey. Causey, one of the key plays in that first inning, grounded it back up the middle and mishandled by Valdivia. He would reach. That would put runners at first and second, nobody out, and that set the stage for the 4-run inning. Pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Luke Causey. Good to see him coming back into the lineup, battling a sore knee for a couple of weeks. 1-0 delivery. That's bounced back up the middle, and that's a base hit. Causey is aboard for the 2nd time, and it's the 2nd hit for the Sodbusters. The other guy who has a hit is coming to the plate now, and Brady Alexander.
Right back up the plate for Causey, and since his return, he's now got a hit in all 4 games that he has played in the past 4 games, and 5 hits in those contests.
Here comes Brady Alexander, the lone RBI for the Sodbusters. Had that single to bring home a run in inning number 1. Causey leads away, and Alexander takes ball 1. Brady had a successful time with the Plainsmen, hitting .305 with them, and he loved playing here at Duncan Field. .421 against the Sodbusters. As the Plainsmen went 3-3 against Hastings. That pitch on the inside corner. For a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike out of a Sodbuster killer at a 4-hit contest against Hastings, and also a 2-hit game during his time with the Plainsmen. Causey leads away. He will go. The pitch is bounced foul. Just right at the first base bag as Aiden Martin fielded it, but clearly foul, and it's 1-2 on Brady Alexander. Interestingly, Alexander's 4-hit game came in a Hastings victory. And 4 hits in that contest, 3 of those hits would result in outs. Just a weird day, as the Plainsmen would lose 3 base runners on the bases on the base hits of Alexander that day. Pitch is taken high. Count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. One was Alexander trying to go double to triple, and then 2 other guys were thrown out on the bases on Alexander base hits. 2-2 with 1 out, 1 on for Hastings. Causey leads away, does not go, and the pitch is bounced foul again. Good approach for Alexander, shortening up the swing, making Lund throw some more pitches as they continue to work him really hard. He's over 50 now and has retired 1 man here in the 2nd inning. Lefty-righty matchup, Causey leads away again, and the pitch. Alexander, another foul ball, back and out of play. Brady with stellar back-to-back plays in the outfield. That second one in particular, the second out of the 2nd inning when he went headlong and one that we thought probably was going to be down for a single. Another 2-2 pitch to Brady Alexander. Runner goes. Pitch low, throw down to second base, and Causey swipes the bag for the Hastings Sodbusters. He's in scoring position with just 1 man out as he takes his 5th base in 6 tries.
Sodbusters now at 105 swipes this summer, which is just over 2 swipes per game. A little bit of a double clutch by Clark behind the plate. Maybe if he gets a clean exchange, they might have a closer play at second.
3-2 pitch. It's inside, ball 4. It gets away from the catcher, and Causey never saw it, so does not advance. Brady Alexander will draw the walk, and should have had your on-base or on-deck guy yelling, but just could not get Causey's attention. He was headed back to second and just didn't realize that ball had gotten away. Hopefully that does not cost Hastings a run. Would have had a runner at third with less than 2 outs. See if it's academic or not as Cale Jensen to lay down to sacrifice his first time up, stands in the left-handed box. Lefty-lefty matchup as Beckett Lund. Atop the hill, the pitch. Low and in the turf, and Grayson Clark has been given a workout behind home plate the first couple of innings of this one. 1 ball and no strikes. Grayson Clark probably still trying to learn everybody's name. They had 2 catchers unavailable yesterday and found out really late. Runners go. Pitch taken outside corner for a strike. Throw down to third. Not going to be in time. 1 hopped in there. Great job for Ripken Fleck just to keep it in front. So the Sodbusters use a double steal with a left-handed hitter up there. And already 3 steals in this inning, and now second and third for Cale Jensen at a 1-1 count. So Grayson Clark got the late call. Pitch outside, it's in the turf. Here comes Luke Causey. He will score. So a wild pitch will score Causey. Alexander to third. It's 5-0. And 2-1 the count now on Cale Jensen.
There, that's double steal paying dividends there. The run comes in to score, and another one in scoring position. Cale Jensen, a guy that hits balls very hard, pretty much anything to the outfield, very likely to score Alexander.
As Alexander also great speed, and the 2-1 delivery on the way. This one fouled out of play. So Grayson Clark gets the call yesterday. He's going to be a senior in high school, so not many of those kind of players here in this Independence League. And said, yep, I'll come and play. And he's in the lineup again today, although they did get one of their catchers back, so they do have a backup. 2-1 delivery. This one is hit to the right side. It's a 1-hopper to the second baseman. That will get the run home. Throw almost pulls the first baseman off. But Paul Schuyler able to get it close enough for Aiden Martin. Cale Jensen, RBI ground out. Good fundamental baseball, and the Sodbusters have 6 on the board, and we've not completed the 2nd inning.
Interesting off the bat by Jensen. That one, a lazy little loop shot that almost had some backspin on it. Almost looked like Jensen pulled out his 56-degree wedge right there. Schuyler waited on it perfectly, though, and made just a good enough throw to first.
And really well read by Alexander to score from third, because when it came off the bat, I thought, is it going to be a line drive out? You don't want to get doubled off in that situation, but it did hit the turf, and the Sodbusters score, and Weston Johnston up there. Count 1-0 his way. He drew a walk his last time up, part of 3 straight walks issued by Beckett Lund, and the Sodbusters able to get 2 runs across on bases-loaded walks. Alexander had the only RBI hit in that first inning, but Crane and Welch bringing home runs with bases-loaded free passes. Now 3-0 to Weston Johnston, and he has not seen a strike in 2 at-bats. 6-0 Sodbusters on just 2 hits. Luke Causey and Brady Alexander, the 2 singles for Hastings. This pitch on the inside corner. 3 balls and a strike. 62 pitches thrown now for Beckett Lund in 1 2/3. Here's the pitch. Hit well to left center field, and that will hang up long enough for the center fielder to get over there. A good job for Isaac Borges, and that will end the 2nd inning. Sodbusters do score 2 runs on 1 hit. Nobody left. We head to the 3rd. We'll hear from Ryan when we come back. 6-0 Hastings. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back, or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. FiskChiropracticSportsClinic.com. There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Head to the 3rd inning of a 6-0 game. Hastings on top, and let's hear from Ryan Valenta.
Thank you, Steve. Early on success for the Hastings Sodbusters. Spencer Schmidt will make his 3rd inning appearance on the mound for the Hastings Sodbusters, as he has been pretty good so far. Well, I'd say even venture as far as really good. He's been 6 up, facing the minimum, actually. He hasn't technically gone 6 up, 6 down. Had the leadoff walk that was caught stealing, but since then, 5 straight retired for the College of St. Scholastica product. I'm so glad we get to say that not once, but twice today, at least until Spencer Schmidt comes out of the game, because him and 9th hole hitter teammate Max Israel, hailing from the college up in the north of the country. Sean Robinson for the Prospects will be the first batter up. This first of 4 game series against the Nebraska Prospects tonight. And your final chance to come see, perhaps in person, the Hastings Sodbusters in this 2025 season. Strike 1 call to Sean Robinson, an Omaha native out of St. Cloud State University in the NSIC conference. He takes ball 1 outside in 11 games, an .097 average for Robinson, just 3 hits for him, so it's been a bit of a struggle this summer. But the Prospects have had some guys struggling on their roster. All a chance to get some more experience in the summer. Called 2nd strike, and the 1-2 from Schmidt. Check swing, called a ball, check down to first. T. Smith says he held up. Spencer Schmidt for his 3rd inning of work. He's kept his pitch counts down very well. High and tight to make it a full count. Now 30 pitches for Schmidt. Sodbusters going with sort of a bullpen game. Well, that was the plan against Fremont kind of on Sunday, where they threw Josh West out there and he ended up almost going the distance. Ball 4, it's upstairs, and Schmidt loses Robinson after he was ahead 1-2.
We'll have a chance to hear from the Joshes before this season comes to a close, as we got interviews with both Josh West and Josh Nolte that we'll play back later in the week.
Highlighted just about everybody on the team that is at least still here on the active roster, or was on the active roster at some points. If you're just joining us tonight, those interviews can be found on Spotify under the Sodcast. Here's Isaac Borges, and the booze on that first ball was from, they checked the swing. Oh, I think he went there, but Daniel Roth didn't think so, and T. Smith not really in a great position out in the field to call that a swing, so Borges ahead 2-0 in the counts. He is tonight's beer batter, hence the booze on that first pitch with him And there you go, you hear. That's one. If the beer batter strikes out, reduced price beer at Duncan Field. Pretty nice deal on this warm and sticky Tuesday afternoon. It's been a little bit humid this week. We'll tell you why in just a second. It's upstairs to make it 3-1. We're told that there has been some corn sweat in the Midwest. So they're the agriculture. There's moist corn, and it's causing a little bit more humidity, which is interesting. 3-1 pitch downstairs for ball 4, and the beer batter is walked, a sight you never want to see there.
And another thing that I would think Nebraskans probably would say when they don't want to swear, corn sweat. That's just corn sweat. Back-to-back walks to begin in a 6-0 game. Not what you wanted to see. Josh Printer out to visit. Elijah Thomas was getting hot for the Hastings Sodbusters. And you mentioned the corn sweat aspect of it. It's kind of died out in the afternoons, though. The last 2 days, Mike Moritz, we need to get him up here because we had a heat index, the heat advisory the last 2 days, and it's actually turned pretty pleasant each of the last 2 afternoons with the cloud cover.
So extended visit to the mound, and head coach Josh Printer back at the helm of the team for the first time this week. He was absent for the final few games of last week due to a wedding back home, but he is back in action. The former Sodbuster player and head coach. Getting his first chance at a real head coaching job. He was kind of an assistant at the ASU Mountain Home program. He was an assistant and ended up kind of being a co-head coach with one of his other assistants on the team due to some issues on that in the spring. Grayson Clark now, he's showing bunt, pops it in the air on a one-hopper to Schmidt. He'll play it to first, and the out is recorded. Successful sacrifice bunt by the incoming high school senior.
Really good job there for everybody involved. And Spencer Schmidt, right decision. Maybe you had time to go to second, but you're up by 6. Get an out. Even if you give up a run or 2 right here, you're still in really good shape.
So the prospects threatening now with their top of the order coming up. Paul Schuyler to bat. He walked in the first, but was thrown out trying to steal second base. Called a strike by Daniel Roth, 0-1. Steve mentioned former Cloud County guy and most recently at UNO. Appeared in 14 games for Omaha and had 8 runs in the 2025 season. 0-1, fouled down the plate or down the left field side.
But the hustle of Ethan Marshall out there, bullpen guy today, and goes and gets himself a foul ball.
Nothing in 2 counts. That is just outside. Pretty darn close, and Flight Scope said it was just off the plates. Our Flight Scope's stats and pitch location are one of our favorite machines to use here at Duncan Field. That's Stats tonight are brought to you by Eagle Distributing. 1-2 from Schmidt, breaking ball downstairs. There's nobody hot in throwing yet. Spencer Schmidt still trying to complete 3 innings of work. He's got 1 out here in the 3rd. Just his 3rd appearance as a Sodbuster this summer after pitching for the Plainsmen. Breaking ball hit to the left side. Chase Miller, long throw across his body to first, and he got him. Chase Miller showing off the range, going to his right, throwing away from his momentum, and gets Schuyler at first base. But on the bright spot for the prospects, they still do get a run, but my oh my, that was likely a robbing of a base hit.
Oh, I thought there's no way they're getting Schuyler, and when ball came off the bat, I thought Borges going. I thought you had a great chance to get him at 3rd, that maybe that was the play, but somehow Miller getting it over to first before Schuyler gets there. RBI ground out and runner at 3rd and 2 outs.
I was thinking the same thing. You got Isaac Borges running right in front of your face. Chase Miller makes the play. He has been sparkling at shortstop since taking it over as the everyday position in the past few weeks. Ripken Fleck with a 1-1 count, flew out to left, back in the first. So the first run home for the Prospects, still 6-1 in favor of Hastings. Line shot, bloop shot, that's fair down the left field line. An RBI hits as Fleck takes a wide turn but will hold at first. Now the ball gets away from the cutoff man, Israel, and now going to second will be Fleck. An RBI single scoring Isaac Borges, and a throwing error, fielding error, will get the Prospects another runner into scoring position with 2 outs.
You just hope that doesn't cost you another run, and now try to find a way to get Jacob Perrin with the runner in scoring position to 2. So when they had the runner at second and third, if you give up 2, so be it. You just don't want to give up that third one and make Nebraska feel like they're right back in this one.
Jacob Perrin waves and misses at the slider. Perrin struck out against Schmitz. 2 strikeouts for Schmidt in the first time through the order. We're now 3 batters into the second time through. Prospects get the 2 runs right back that Hastings scored in the second. Same pitch, but taken this time. 1 ball and 1 strike. Perrin, a .253 hitter above the Prospects team average of .236 this summer, and looking for their first win against the Sodbusters. That fastball shaves off an edge, and it's 1-2. Also, the official scoring on the last play, they're going to give an error to the second baseman, Max Israel, on receiving that throw there instead of the left fielder throwing it in. Ground ball to the sure-handed Miller. Easy play for him and easy throw. That is the 3rd out of the inning. The Prospects strike for 2 runs, and we're back to a 4-run lead. Hastings still in front. They'll look for more when we return in a moment.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back, or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
At Hastings College, we celebrate all the ways you shine. From more than 20 athletic teams to band, choir, theater, and art, plus esports, creative writing, speech, and media. Join in to earn a scholarship and find your people, the friends you'll hang out and have fun with. It's what makes Hastings great. So check out Hastings College, where your experience matters, in the classroom and in the activities you love to do. Visit us at hastings.edu.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, and Beckett Lund back out there for the Prospects. He will try and muscle his way through a 3rd inning of work. Sodbusters have had base runners all over in the first couple of innings, and Lund will be tasked with going against 6, 7, and 8 against the Hastings Sodbusters, which is Jackson Crane, Tyler Welsh, and Luke Ray. Like I said, sometimes it just takes starting pitchers an inning or 2 to get settled in. Time was called. There was no pitch thrown. I don't know if there was time called. Somebody thought they called time. But Lund stopped his delivery right as he was about to throw it. But no harm, no foul there. Jackson Crane waves and misses at strike 1. Crane worked a bases-loaded walk to drive in a run back in the first. So he is still yet to have an official at-bat. Something soft away misses. Again, Lund in the middle 80s in his fastball, so good velocity. And a breaking ball in the high 70s. Crane was, I don't know what was happening there. They say no pitch there.
Yeah, Crane had already stepped out.
So Crane,
unfortunate, because that was ball 2.
Yeah, no kidding. Pitch outside, and now it is 3 balls and 1 strike. Because that last pitch did not count. Lund's trying to find the mark of Jackson Crane and does there with a strike at the knees. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Crane from Russellville, Arkansas, and Interesting for him. Started at ASU. It was at ASU Mountain Home. Started at Arkansas Tech. And then now he is going to go back to Arkansas Tech after spending last season with his head coach, Josh Printer. Now for sure it is a 3-2 count. Some confusion about which pitches did and didn't count to this at-bat. Crane pops it in the air, out of play. And that will get outside of the fans at Duncan Field. Healthy crowd tonight with the brass quintet and some meteorologists in the attendance as well. And told you pregame there, Scott Galusha makes sure those meteorologists gets their paychecks. Worth at least. Ball 4's outside, and a good battle by Jackson Crane to work a leadoff walk.
How about the crowd? We've got culture with the brass quintet. We've got education with the meteorologists. We've got all kinds of folks here.
And there's probably more that we don't even know about, too.
Yes, yep. That's just the ones we know about. That was just who was in the pregame.
So the first runner on, and the batter, Tyler Welsh, he smacks a single into left field on the first pitch. The Barbarian slashes one for the Sodbusters. 4th base hit of the contest.
The Sodbusters, good job of continuing to put the pressure on. You saw the prospect scratch a couple out there at the top of the inning. You'd love to get 2 right back, and we're going to see a visit to the mound as the head coach, Gabe Shemwell. He was head coach last year. Gretna guy is out there to visit with his left-hander, who may be coming to the end of the day in his debut here, up to 73 pitches thrown.
And correction, just the 3rd base hit for the Sodbusters. The Nebraska Prospects, the travel-only team, guys from all across the state and some even from outside of it. Got a couple of Iowa guys. A couple of years in years past, they had several Arkansas guys on the team. Not sure the connection there, but the Nebraska Prospects, a organization that's, well, they are what they say they are. They're prospects, and they do a good job at promoting their athletes to hopefully promote them to the highest schools that these guys are trying to compete at, which to most of them would be the Division I level. Lots of community college Division I and even some Division III guys as well. After the mound visit by Shemwell, 1st and 2nd with nobody out. The Crane walk and the Welsh single. Now here is Luke Ray. Ray just his 4th game for the Sodbusters this summer. They think he might be bunting, but taking ball 1, the first baseman Martin was starting to crash, expecting a bunt, but nothing shown in the first play. Luke Ray came on as a defensive replacement on Sunday to replace the now former Sodbuster Drew Vega, who bid farewell to the team in his final game on Sunday. Pitch right across for strike 1. Luke Ray has a hit. He had 15 hits in 23 games last year for the Hastings Sodbusters, but he was a mainstay in the Arkansas Tech lineup as a senior this year. Pitch gets through the wickets of the catcher. Clark has a play at third. The throw there is right there, and out is Jackson Crane. Indecisive on whether he wanted to go or not. Didn't get far enough from Clark, and Crane caught stealing for the 2nd out.
Unfortunate there for the Hastings Sodbusters as Crane, I think it thought it was going to be a little farther away, and it only bounced about 6 or 7 feet away.
And correction, just 1 out, the first out of the inning. Tyler Welsh also moves up on the play and to take his place in scoring position. Downstairs, 3-1. So Ray just finishing up his senior season at Arkansas Tech. 49 hits in 52 games to the tune of a .288 batting average. He drove in 25 for the Wonder Boys. 3-1. Popped up, right side, going over as Skyler. Looks like he's calling for it and does make the catch in fair territory for the 2nd out of the inning. Kind of one of those no man's land pop-ups, but the prospects get a man there.
See if Max Israel can kind of pick up the team, but 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Now the Sodbusters with only 1 on and 2 outs in danger of squandering a really good opportunity to get some tack-on runs.
Max Israel, his Sodbuster debut, was struck out looking against Lund back in the 1st. And this pitch will be number 79 for Beckett Lund. The Hutchinson Community College product, who he pitched Just a couple games for in the spring season. 2 games to be exact, and 2 innings pitched, a hit to run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. But the lefty has some velo. Out of play for Israel, and it's 1-1. He is a teammate of Spencer Schmidt at the College of St. Scholastica. Appeared in 3 games for the Saints this spring. He is an education major from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Boy, does that sound like a quaint, pleasant little town. Where are you from? Cottage Grove. Tea time is at 2 p.m. every day.
Have some cookies, some muffins. Neighbors probably bringing muffins.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good right now.
Yeah, it does.
Israel's fighting tough here against Lund. The 1-2 count with Welsh still at second. Pitch. Down low, good take.
Gingerbread. Maybe a little gingerbread, you know? From Cottage Grove. Yeah,
they've got the pies in the windowsills
yes.
with its wafting out. You could smell it from a mile away. Deuce is wild here in this third. Sodbusters trying to keep a streak going of 2 straight innings where they've scored a run. That pitch is wild, gets away, and that will hop into the Sodbuster dugouts. Welsh would have gotten to third anyway, but the ball out of play will just be the 1 base. A little bit of a different rule on balls out of play. If it's put in play and then thrown out of play by a fielder, then it's 2 bases. If it's just a pitched ball, then under the impression it's just 1 base. We had some controversy with that earlier in the season. I think it was a game against the Plainsmen where a ball went out of the dugout and the Sodbusters were awarded 2 bases on a play that everybody thought should have just been 1, but they ended up taking it. Israel keeps fighting here, fights off another pitch, and Lund will have to throw yet another. The payoff pitch from Lund, chopper, high chopper over the mound. This is trouble. Israel sprinting to first, and he makes it. He just punched that thing into the ground and put it in play. Good things will happen for Max Israel. His first hit in 2 tries as a Sodbuster, and even better, it drives in a run.
Coming with 2 outs as well. That is a large hit. Get one of those runs back, and you turn the order over for Chase Miller.
Now still an opportunity to keep this one going, and you knew right when Lund wasn't going to be able to make the play on the mound. Neither Valdivia nor Schuyler were going to make the play in time at first. Israel just hustled enough down the line. So the 3rd time through the lineup starting now for the 3rd time in this game in the 3rd inning. There goes Israel, pitches high, throw from Clark is off target. Max Israel wastes no time, and he will join the stolen base parade for the Sodbusters to get himself in scoring position.
And I saw Josh Prenner flash the sign, and I'm thinking, does Max even know the signs? And but he apparently did and has some wheels.
Obviously very limited playing time. He did have 2 stolen bases in 3 games that he played for St. Scholastica. Pitch a strike to Miller. It's 1-1. He's 0 for 1, a fly out to center and a walk. But he made a really nice play at shortstop the last inning. 1-1 pitch, just a bit outside, 2-1. Lund approaching the 90 pitch mark now. We don't have a clear view of the prospect bullpen down the first base line, but you got to assume that somebody should be getting hot pretty soon. 2-1 for Miller. Late on the pitch, and the count evens out at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Saw the visit to the mound earlier this inning, and it may have been, got 20 more in you? Because, I mean, it's probably, you need every pitch you can get. And I know maybe it hasn't gone as you had hoped, but see if you can get us 100 pitches.
2-2 on the way to Miller. Out of play again. Yeah, the couple times we've seen the prospects here this summer. We've seen them 4 times, but only a couple times they've thrown in a starter and then don't really have another pitching guy, so then they just kind of put in a position player who just has to be throw it 60 miles an hour and hope it gets over the plate. Up high for ball 3, and the count runs full. Sodbusters 7, prospects 2. We are only in the 3rd, as we're now an hour over past game time. Ball 4 is outside. What a job by Miller. Second time tonight he has worked himself back from behind in the counts to work a walk.
Now you get to Causey and Alexander try to find a way to keep this inning going when it looked like you were going to be turned away with no damage done. Israel and Miller come through with 2-out production.
Causey with a pair of runs scored. He's reached both times. Once on an error from the shortstop and once on a single. Both teams with an error apiece. Sodbusters with 4 hits. Prospects with 1. Pitch outside. So the rule is you can't start a new inning after 100 pitches. You can't start a new batter if you're already pitching after 110. Causey didn't get a piece of it. It just back to the screen on the swing and a miss, and Lund catches a break there as Causey swung at a pitch way outside.
Good news is the Sodbusters do get 2 in scoring position now, and any old hit to the outfield, and Hastings likely gets 2 more.
It is a wild pitch there for the prospects. The 4th wild pitch from Beckett Lund this evening. Causey really wants to drive in these 2 runs here. The lefty-lefty matchup. That is hit high in the air to deep right center field. Jacob Perrin going way back at the wall, and it is over his head. 2 runs are in, and headed for third once again is Luke Causey. He's getting a green light. The relay in from right field. The slide, safe! How sweet it is. Luke Causey, his 2nd home run of the year. This one doesn't leave the yard, but it still counts. A 3-run inside the park home run for Luke Causey as he sent that all the way to the wall and nearly out. How special is that?
And how short is the list of people who have home runs at Duncan Field? Imagine how minuscule the list is for players who have home runs who have left the yard and an inside the park home run. Sodbusters nearly had 2 this year. Cale Jensen was stopped after a triple earlier this year, and now Causey has that in the same season.
Unbelievable. Luke Causey, we've had home runs hit at Duncan Field before, at least in my time here. No Sodbusters ever hit 2 here at Duncan Field in the same season. Cale Jensen had one. Nick Jones had one back in 23. Nobody had one last year at all. Called a strike to Brady Alexander, but now a over-the-fence home run and an inside-the-park home run. That one a little bit more to right field, but Jacob Perrin wasn't able to get it. Hit to center by Alexander, twisting around, but catching the ball is Isaac Borges. But come out to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to see. Tonight, an inside-the-parker. On a close play at home, Causey is in safely. A 4-run inning. It is now 10-2 Sodbusters. They lead it by 8. We'll be back for the 4th.
Core CPAs is your locally owned, full-service accounting firm. Our team of professionals have years of accounting experience and focus on building in-depth relationships with our clients. Our comprehensive and customized solutions are tailored to your specific needs. We pride ourselves in our commitment to integrity, objectivity, and professionalism. At Core CPAs, we provide tax services, payroll, bookkeeping, assurance and financial reporting, and much more. Visit our website at corecpas.us.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Bombs away at Duncan Field here tonight. Luke Causey sends one to the wall, which still counts in the book as a home run. So the Sodbusters get their 4th of the year, 2nd from Causey. The former Sodbuster Brock Cross had one, Cale Jensen the other one on the road in Oahe. But Hastings getting the 10-2 lead with the prospects coming up here in the fourth. It is 4, 5, and 6. Mike Valdivia set to lead things off, followed by Aiden Martin and Finn Hochstein. Spencer Schmidt will get another opportunity to complete a clean inning on the mound. Bottom of the order got it done, and the brief part of the top order got it done against Schmidt last inning. Couple of leadoff walks. The first two batters, a sacrifice bunt, then a ground out and a single. Fundamental baseball from the prospects got them 2, but Sodbusters get 4 runs back. Called a strike on the outside corner to Mike Valdivia. Millard West graduate. 17 games for him. Leads the team among guys with the most games with a .380 average. Got some guys that are higher, but nobody has played more games that is higher in average than him. Out of play, 2-2. Sodbusters with 3 hits in that inning, now 10 runs on 5 hits. Nebraska 2 runs on 1 hit. The wind from Schmidt back to the screen, and the count remains even. Sun has come out here. It was pretty cloudy at first pitch time at Duncan. But some rays as we end the day at Duncan Field. Pitch breaks outside and a little bit high, so the count now full 3-2 on Valdivia. He flew out to center his first at-bat. He'll go down swinging this time with a strikeout. Pitch at the top of the zone, and the third strikeout for Spencer Schmidt.
Schmidt, I think you're getting more than you expected out of him today. We saw action in the bullpen last inning. It's quiet right now, and opportunity for him to maybe get through 4, particularly with an 8-run lead. Want to get as much out of your starter as you can now.
Spencer Schmidt's previous high in a game, which was only in 2 games, was 2 innings in a relief appearance against the Prospects exactly a week ago today on Tuesday. Worked 32 pitches in that frame and did not allow a run, only allowed 1 hit. Tonight he's allowed 2 on just 1 hit. After the foul ball, it's ball 1 upstairs to Aiden Martin. He has the best batting line against the Sodbusters in 4 games. He's 5 for 12 coming into tonight's. He was robbed of a base hit by Alexander in center his first time up. Puts that one down the right field line, but will reach the out-of-play area towards the concession stands. Wind's not a ton of a factor tonight as it has been for much of the season. It is blowing in, but the flag ever so slightly moving in center. Head high fastball, it's 2-2. Spencer Schmidt, that was pitch number 60 for him. Number 61 is back up the middle for a base hit. Aiden Martin has the second hit for the Prospects. He is a 4th inning base runner with 1 out.
And he's not quite in uncharted territory. He did throw 4 innings in his start at Casper, 79 pitches, allowed 6 runs, only 1 of those earned during his time with the Plainsmen. So has been kind of a middle type reliever at times. Had another 3-inning outing against the Fremont Moo when he was pitching for the Plainsmen.
Schmidt's just appeared in a handful of games his 2 seasons with St. Scholastica. Last year, only 2 appearances, 3 2/3 innings. He got hit pretty hard in those 2 appearances for 8 hits and 5 runs. But he's a guy that I like his delivery. It's very fast, and the velocity follows with it. The fact that his arm angle and arm slot is pretty much similar for both pitches can be very deceptive on what he's throwing. A 1 pitch sprayed out of play by Finn Hochstein. He is a Seward native who was just playing for the Seward Blue Jays a couple seasons ago. Hochstein 0 for 1 with a strikeout in his only at-bats outside. 1-2. He is 4 for 11 against the Sodbusters this summer. He had a multi-hit game against Hastings in one of those games. 1-2 pitch, got him swinging, strike 3. Good placed fastball by Schmidt right near the outside corner. Hochstein couldn't resist. A couple strikeouts for Schmidt this inning, and we're not done yet. Runner at Martin remains at first. And coming up with 2 outs is Sean Robinson. He walked and scored the first run of the game for the Prospects. Pitched low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Sodbusters are formulating a plan down in the bullpen for who may be next. Cracked over the head of Miller and into left center field for a base hit. Martin, he will try to advance to third. Alexander bobbles the baseball. Martin will get to third easily. Robinson with the single. And that's got to be a good feeling for him. Just his 4th hit of the summer in a total of 20 games.
Would have been fascinating to see if Alexander handles that cleanly, because it was a little indecision for Martin as he hit the second base bag, and Alexander may have had a play at third.
Correction, looked at the guy's stat line above him. Robinson, his 4th hit in just 12 games, not 20. So the single with 2 outs puts runners at the corners for the beer batter, Isaac Borges. Breaking ball snips the outside corner for strike 1. Spencer Schmidt approaching the 70-pitch mark, but nobody getting hot in any sort of hurry. 0-1. Looked like a pretty similar location and called a ball this time. Flight Scope liked it. See what Schmidt can provide. 1-1. Goes back to the hook, and the count 1-2. Borges walked and scored in the 3rd inning against the Sodbusters. 5 hits in 10 games this summer. Runner goes, pitch outside, back to the screen. Here comes the run, play at the plate. Schmidt the tag, but safe. Schmidt did not get the glove down, and that's a good call by Daniel Roth there as Martin got underneath the tag. The ball was there. Schmidt just couldn't get it down.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. And I know Spencer's really disappointed, but he just couldn't quite grab it and sweep it quickly enough. And nice call at home plate there for Daniel Roth, because the ball beat him. The first instinct is to make the out call, but I think they got it right.
As Jason Frew says, the beer batter is still up. Try and strike him out here. Schmidt's delivery, he does. Swings and misses at the slider. The fans will flock to the upper deck bar. Sodbusters will flock to the dugout after giving up a run, but they still lead at 10-3. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Sodbusters in command.
Make your next pit stop at the Coach's Corner. A friendly staff and a deep lineup of snacks. You can find Coach's Corner in North Hastings on Osborne Drive East. More than just a gas station, Coach's Corner is the place to get delicious pizza made fresh for you and your family. Don't take our word for it. It's so good it'll be featured at selected Sodbuster home games this season. For a convenient and clean experience, be sure to check out the new convenience store in North Hastings, Coach's Corner.
Blue Fork Kitchen features elevated comfort food in a family-friendly, fast casual environment. With a full menu, you can sit down for a nice meal or order online for pickup. From salads and wraps to burgers and steaks, Blue Fork Kitchen has your kind of food. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m., with a special brunch buffet Sunday from 9 to 2 p.m. Blue Fork Kitchen is located in the Cimarron Plaza, 38th and Osborne Drive in Hastings. Like them on Facebook. Welcome back to Sodbuster Baseball as we go to the bullpen for the first time this evening. And it is for the Prospects. This is Cody Cizik. He is a two-way guy on the team, mainly plays in the field, but also has plenty of experience on the mound this summer. Eight appearances, 19 2/3 innings pitched. This will be his 4th time out of the bullpen. He has an 0-5 record with giving up 44 runs, 28 walks, 17 strikeouts, a 13.53 ERA. This pitching change is brought to you by the Joyride Pedal Company. If you're looking for a new, unique night out in downtown Hastings with drinks combined with exercise in the biking form. Visit joyridepedalco.com.
Mentioned Cizik, that he is a two-way guy. Was in the lineup yesterday for this prospects team. Went 1 for 4 at the plate with an RBI. Has to do a lot if you're a Nebraska prospect, particularly this summer. It seems like they have got more guys who have needed to do both this year than in previous years.
His last time out was a week ago against the Sodbusters, where he did not factor into the decision through an inning and 2/3 of 1 hit, 2 run, 2 walk, no strikeout baseball. In all appearances so far for Cizik this summer, he has given up at least 1 run. Been a couple of times where he's given up 9 or 10 runs. Those were in Spearfish and Fremont. Trying to settle the waters here after their starter Beckett Lund went 3 courageous innings. The pitch count was high. It's a 10-run mark for the Sodbusters, but I feel confident saying I feel like it could have been a whole lot worse. Lund did a good job to minimize in the second. In the 3rd inning, he was 1 out away from only allowing 1 run. Cale Jensen, the batter, taking down and now in. Jensen has driven in a run. On a ground out, he's also sacrificed himself on a bunt. That pitch called a strike by Daniel Roth. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cody Cizik on the mound. He is an Omaha native and a Northwestern College product. That is the Northwestern out of Orange City, Iowa in the NAIA. Also in the GPAC Conference with Hastings College, so who knows, Cizik, if he did play in the spring, could have seen time here at Hastings College. That is a mile-high pop-up into right field. Jacob Perrin out, so is Skyler in foul territory. It's Perrin, the right fielder, and after it finally touches the stratosphere, it comes down and into the glove of the right fielder.
That's what you call a major league pop-up right there. You hope that Cale Jensen can find a line drive or 2 to get it going for the rest of this week for the Hastings Sodbusters. Guys going to be headed to Illinois, Chicago.
Here is Weston Johnston batting for the 3rd time and wearing number 18 tonight instead of his usual 26. If I had to guess, probably because his upper body muscles tore his other shirt because it was too small. I mean, if you get a close-up look at that guy, he has got gigantic forearms and just arms in general. Hence the power on the team.
Got the green sleeve on the right side like the Hulk. Maybe it's don't make him mad. Don't make him mad.
We have seen Johnston swing mad so far this season a few times. Grounds that one in play down the 3rd base line, but letting it go foul. Smart play by Ripken Fleck. He was crashing in ready to make a play on that ball, but let it bounce foul. Johnston didn't realize that he had gotten it in play at first. If Fleck does touch that, Johnston likely legs out an infield single. He has walked today and flown out to center. Weston Johnston, the team leader in almost every offensive category and average total hits, doubles, and RBIs. He's got 7 doubles and 36 runs driven in. Doesn't have anybody on to drive him in at this point in the game. Look out, that one got away from Cizik. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If there's a surprise at some point during these small parks on the road that he hadn't got a home run.
That's what I was thinking as well. I mean, when Luke Cossey hit his first home run, I went down and asked, I was like, well, when we Sodbusters hit a home run, it is in bunches. There is a line drive single up the middle by Johnston. He's aboard with 1 out. And back to the previous anecdote, went down there and asked, all right, guys, who's next? Because somebody has to do another home run this year. And the majority of the guys said Weston Johnston, because he has a lot of power. We've seen him, as a right-handed hitter, drive it off the right field wall on the fly. Opposite field power goes crazy for Johnston. Now Jackson Crane, he's been walked twice, which was against Beckett Lund. Called a strike on the outside corner. The new pitcher on, Cody Cizik. The defense for the Prospects otherwise still the same. Johnston dancing around at first. Crane puts it out of play. Quickly 0-2. Sodbusters with 4 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the third. Still looking to get on the scoreboard here in the fourth. Johnston, the catcher, away from first on the 0-2. Stays put. Crane chops it. Coming in is Schuyler at second. Gloves, underhand flip just in time for the out by a quarter step. Paul Schuyler, a do-or-die play. A nice one by the second baseman.
Had to do everything perfectly there to gun down Jackson Crane. Johnston advances to second and would be a candidate to score if Tyler Welch can get one of the outfield.
Well, good news, Sodbuster fans. Up in Spearfish, the Sasquatch are putting the hurt on Casper right now, 7-1, that's just in the third inning. And if you didn't join us for our pregame talk of playoff picture scenarios, if you're a Sodbuster fan, go Spearfish.
Spearfish won the first half. Spearfish and Casper closing out on a 5-game series. Casper in front of Hastings in both the overall record and in the second half standings.
Just five games against the currently second and third place team in the second half standings. Whoever came up with that matchup to close out the season, good on you. Some important games to close out the season. Tyler Welsh, the unofficial barbarian of tonight's game. Dubbed by Jason Frew, he gave every player, he was asking us where everybody was from before the game, and he always comes up with fancy little nicknames that definitely are not their nicknames in real life, but fun to see what he comes up with. Look out, it's over the head of Welsh. Second time this inning that Cizik has missed over the head to a right-handed hitter.
And if you have more of a Conan the Barbarian, I was thinking Weston the Barbarian, maybe for Johnston, but yeah, I don't know. That's it. Gotta give Mr. Frew some credit. He had to come up with all of those on the fly.
Downstairs, 3-1. I would go with Viking because he's he's kind of got the blonde facial hair. It's not long by any means, but if he did grow it out, he would fit the stereotype of a Viking perfectly.
But he doesn't have the name that just flows like a Viking, you know?
Tyler the Viking, maybe that's
I don't know.
It's like a kid's book Viking. He's ahead 3-1, and now he's on base with his second walk today. Welsh has now walked twice and singled. He's been on base all 3 times. Trying to keep the momentum going with 2 outs will be Luke Ray. He's 0 for 2, looking for his first hit. Sodbusters with 6 of them tonight. Lucasi has a pair of hits. Alexander, Johnston, Welsh, and Israel, the other hits. Cody Cizik still just 1 out away from a scoreless inning. Johnston at second. Welsh at first. Called strike to Luke Ray. Ray, a .288 hitter for the Arkansas Tech Wonder Boys. Just finished up his 4th campaign with them. The Russellville, Arkansas native. Ground ball to first, scooped up by Aiden Martin. He'll step on first base for the out. And for the first time tonight, the Sodbusters do not score in an inning. 10-3 your score. We are about halfway through, and we send it to the top of the 5th. You're watching the Sodbuster Baseball Network.
There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
We are back with inning number 5. It's been a high-scoring affair so far, but still plenty of baseball left to go, and we'll turn it back over to Steve Stein.
Spencer Schmidt trying to qualify for the win here as he's worked the first 4. This will be his longest outing of the year combined between the Plainsmen and now the Sodbusters, as he is now working into the 5th. 72 pitches thrown, so pitch count still in pretty good shape. And he is going to be facing the 9-1-2 hitters for the Nebraska Prospects. Hastings looking to go 9 games over 500. They've accomplished that feat 6 times this season, have never been 10 games over 500. 10-6 in the second half, trying to chase down Oahe, Spearfish, and Casper. Oahe and Casper, particularly the teams you're concerned about, with Spearfish winning the first half. If Spearfish wins the second half, the team with the second best overall record would qualify as the second team in the playoffs. And Hastings right near Casper in both of those standings. Oahe does lead the second half at 14-6. Here's the first pitch, and it is hit hard but foul off the bat of Grayson Clark. Laid down a nice sacrifice his first time up. Grayson Clark making his Prospects debut yesterday. Went 0 for 3 with a run scored as he was called upon to come in and catch, and did a nice job. And so come with us for this 4-game series to Hastings, please. Takes a strike, as they had 2 guys yesterday who they found out late were unavailable, so they needed a catcher. Plainsmen had that situation happen to them earlier this year. 0-2 delivery just off the outside corner. 5 strikeouts and 3 walks so far for Spencer Schmidt, and just missed his 6th strikeout there. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Grayson Clark. Schmidt winds and delivers. High pop-up into right field. That should not be an issue, and it will not be for Luke Causey. There's 1 out here in the 5th inning, and back to the top of the order for Paul Schuyler.
Glad to see Schmidt out there again for a potential 5th inning of work with 4 games in front of you at home and then 6 or 2 more on the road to make 6 total. Want to max out most of your guys because I'd rather keep the arms fresh for the upcoming games.
So Paul Schuyler, who had an RBI ground out his last time up, stands in. He walked back in the first inning, 0 for 1 of the contest, and takes ball 1. Paul Schuyler, a nice addition to this prospect squad as the season wears on. 1-0 delivery from Schmidt. Golfed in the air to short left field, and it's going to be the shortstop back onto the grass, Chase Miller, to take care of Paul Schuyler. There are 2 quick outs.
Yeah, well, we already saw a 56-degree wedge tonight. That one probably more of a 52-degree wedge, maybe a sand wedge. But, yeah, that one, Schuyler pulled his hands inside and still just missed the barrel of it, and it didn't get out of the infield.
Here comes Ripken Fleck, and if that ball would have fallen, Paul would have been asked to go fix his divot. But thankfully, Chase Miller kept him from that bit of groundskeeping, and now it's Ripken Fleck who does ground this one foul over near the Prospects dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yes, Ripken Fleck was named for Cal Ripken Jr. and plays on the infield. A lot of times he's shortstop. Today he's playing third base, and if my memory recalls, I think Cal Ripken Jr. actually came up as a third baseman before going over to the shortstop spot. Here's a line driver, a lazy fly ball, more accurately to Jackson Crane. And how about Spencer Schmidt? Is he going to be asked to come out for the 6th inning after he works a 1-2-3 5th? Sodbusters do have the lead, 10-3. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen, a tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Hastings Sodbusters baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate woodbat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to HastingsSodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters Baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
The bottom half of inning number 5, 10-3 the score. As good job for Cody Cizik to kind of normalize the game for the prospects. Came in to put a 0 on the board for the first time of the contest, as Hastings did have 2 reach but did not score. Back at the top of the order, actually it's 9-1-2 as you get a chance to see Israel bat again. Miller and Causey against Cody Cizik. Meanwhile, a 1-2-3 inning turned in by Spencer Schmidt. For the second time, it was the third time he had faced the minimum, and there's no action behind him, so Spencer Schmidt very easily could be coming out for his 6th inning of work after a 9-pitch 5th inning. He's up to 81 pitches thrown. That is a season high going back to the Plainsman. I think he threw 79 in his most pitches thrown in 4 innings for the Plainsman against Casper. 10-3, the Sodbusters on top, looking to get back in the win column and go to 11-6 in second half standings. Max Israel, an infield single, an RBI, and a run scored in his second at bat for the Sodbusters. He's 1 for 2 and takes a first pitch strike, no balls, and 1 strike to the St. Scholastica young man, education major, standing in the right-handed box, making his Hastings debut. 0-1 delivery on the way. And tried to check his swing and did so. 1 ball and 1 strike. Important that he was put on the roster on Sunday because he would be eligible for the playoffs if there are playoffs for the Hastings Sodbusters. 1-1 delivery is taken upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Sodbusters should be in good shape until Saturday, but there are some guys leaving, and so they're really going to have a patchwork lineup at Oahe in what could be the biggest games of the year for Hastings. If they're still in the playoff hunt by then, they could have a really patchwork lineup heading to Pier. 2 balls and 2 strikes after Israel went after 1 out of the zone. Cizik winds and delivers. Inside for ball 3. And visiting with the owner GM Scott Galusha revealed that they have 9 position players. Now, pitching-wise, they're in great shape, which is usually just the opposite this time of year. 3-2 delivery on the way. Outside, and a good job for Israel to battle back and earn a walk, and back to the top of the order for Chase Miller.
Sodbusters continue a trend now of getting their leadoff base runner on in the odd innings today. Your odd stats of the day.
Very good, Ryan Valenta. Best guy in the league, let me tell you. Chase Miller.
Best team in the league, Steve. There's no I in team.
Hey, I appreciate that. As Miller at the top of the order, a couple of walks, 2 runs scored. Here's the pitch, and right across to Chase Miller. 0 for 1 in the game, but doing a good job at his first contest as the leadoff man for Hastings, filling the role occupied by Drew Vega, by Christian Loera during the course of this season. 0-1 delivery. Those 2 guys getting the majority of the starts at the top of the order. Quickly 2 strikes to Chase Miller, but Miller becoming more and more of an integral part of this team. We've seen his defense and making it happen offensively too. 2 runs scored in this game. Checked his swing. Runner goes. Ball on the turf, and taking second base will be Max Israel. The officially a wild pitch as he took off after the ball hit the turf. Good lead there for Israel. He's in scoring position, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Chase Miller. Miller, right-handed hitter, the Saginaw Valley State Cardinal from Walkerton, Indiana, went to John Glenn High School. John Glenn, first man to orbit the earth. 1-2 pitch on the way. Called strike 3, really good one for Cody Cizik, and it froze Miller, and it's the first strikeout for Cizik.
That one a slow breaking ball right there. That one likely stopped at the started at the top of his head, then dropped down right in the zone. As a hitter, you probably give up on that one right away.
Here's Luke Causey, the big hit in the game for him. An inside the park home run, a 3-run blast to put the finishing touches on the 4-run 3rd inning that made this a 10-2 game at the time. Runner goes, and he will be thrown out as he went on first movement. Cizik, a good job of stepping off and throwing out Max Israel, so the base is empty with 2 outs now for Causey, and you hate that because there's a guy who had already knocked in 3 today, and now base is empty.
That last strikeout pitch, according to our flights, go 57 miles an hour. You can't get pulled over on the highway for going that slow.
Not when you're outside the city limits. And the pitch in there for a strike. Luke Causey taking strike one. Drilled it to right field and legged out the inside the park home run. I wonder how short that list is. Pitch inside of guys who have hit home runs out of the park and in the same season getting an inside the park home run at Duncan Field. It has got to be minuscule. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Luke Causey. Hits this one to the right side. That will be a fair ball and taken by the first baseman, Aiden Martin. And the Sodbusters are gone quietly as they send the minimum to the plate. No runs on no hits. No one left. We head to the 6th. We'll hear from Ryan again when we come back. 10-3 Hastings. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Core CPAs is your locally owned, full-service accounting firm. Our team of professionals have years of accounting experience and focus on building in-depth relationships with our clients. Our comprehensive and customized solutions are tailored to your specific needs. We pride ourselves in our commitment to integrity, objectivity, and professionalism. At Core CPAs, we provide tax services, payroll, bookkeeping, assurance and financial reporting, and much more. Visit our website at corecpas.us.
At Hastings College, we celebrate all the ways you shine. From more than 20 athletic teams to band, choir, theater, and art, plus esports, creative writing, speech, and media. Join in to earn a scholarship and find your people, the friends you'll hang out and have fun with. It's what makes Hastings great. So check out Hastings College, where your experience matters, in the classroom and in the activities you love to do. Visit us at hastings.edu.
Out of the 6th inning, Hastings continues to lead the Nebraska Prospects 10-3. Once again, Ryan Valenta.
Thank you, Steve. And for any Hastings area people or Tri-City area people interested in Legion baseball, also checking in on Game Changer. Area A7 tournament championships have now been decided. The champion in the juniors division, the Kearney Juniors, are the area champions for back-to-back seasons. They just beat Hastings in their second game. The Hastings forced a winner-take-all game, but Kearney won that second game. And Hastings 5 Points Bank Seniors, they won 2 games against Grand Island Home Federal, with Home Federal only needed to win 1 to take the area championship game as well. So those are the high schoolers of the 18Us. There's a couple of guys that aren't on the spring team that are on the summer team. Even some high schoolers playing in this game here tonight. Jacob Perrin is the first batter against Spencer Schmidt, who is back out there, indeed, for a 6th inning. 80 pitches through 5 innings, pretty good mark for him. We will see who the Sodbusters will go to and when they will need to go to them. 1-2, called strike 3, dropped in the curveball. Perrin watches it go by for out number 1.
Elijah Thomas had gotten warm earlier, but right now it is the rubber arm Nate Fisher, leader in appearances, who is warming up for the Hastings Sodbusters.
Spencer Schmidt at 85 pitches. That strikeout there, number 6 on the evening. Pitch outside to Mike Valdivia. He is one of those 6 strikeout victims. That came back in the 4th. He's also flown out to center. That's a line drive. Ground ball into right field. A base hit for Valdivia. Splits the second and first baseman. And the Prospects with a 6th inning hit.
And correction or update from the bullpen. We see Thomas actually playing catch with Fisher, so either of those guys could be called upon, neither of them throwing from the mound out there, so likely going to be one of those two to follow Spencer Schmidt.
After the 1-out single, Aiden Martin, who also has a single tonight. Downstairs, back pick to first and safely. Also a defensive change, just now realizing Jude Greaves has taken over at first base for the Hastings Sodbusters. And according to Game Changer, that is the only change. So that means Tyler Welsh now out of the game. Base hit up the middle for Aiden Martin. He's got a multi-hit game and back-to-back singles with 1 out in the 6th.
Just minimize here, Mr. Schmidt. Find a way to get a couple of outs, and you'd love to put another 0 on the board, keep us a 7-run advantage. Now you just want to play solid defense if you're Hastings.
So we are upwards of halfway through this game in the 5th inning. Finn Hochstein, the batter, he has struck out twice against Schmidt. And swings and misses at that one. Big swing and nothing doing for Hochstein. From Hutchinson Community College, saw plenty of playing time with them in the spring, 20 games and a .314 average. Hutchinson Community College, the home of the Blue Dragons. Not red, not blue, not purple, the Blue Dragons.
And more unique mascots from Hutchinson. If you go to Hutchinson High School, you are the Salthawks.
So aviation, airborne creatures seem to be the theme in Hutchinson. 0-2, runners on the move, pitch a ball, the laser from Johnson, oversliding the base is the runner Valdivia. Not sure if they got him initially, but Valdivia off the base and he is out.
Thank you very much. 7-run game. You want outs any way you can get them, and you'll take it that way. And now 2 outs in the inning.
Now the 2nd base stealer gunned down by Weston Johnston tonight, and the 7th for him this summer. Martin stayed put at first base. So now it is 1-2 with 2 outs. The pitch to Hochstein, just a bit high. Finn is 4 for 11 in the series coming into tonight, still hitless in this game. Schmidt now at 93 pitches, and what could be his final inning. 2-2, just high again on the same spot. Didn't miss by much. Well, the count is run full, meaning Martin will get a head start on the base paths. Jude Greaves will retreat his defensive position. The pitch on the way, fouled off. And we will do it again. This is game 1 of a 4-game series. Same time the rest of the week. Wednesday through Friday, and that will do it for the regular season, but if the Sodbusters can win the second half, they would play a playoff game. That hits Finn Hochstein on the 3-2, actually. So it would have been ball 4 either way, but he's on base with 2 outs.
Caught stealing looming larger now, and you wonder if Valdivia took off on his own because Martin didn't follow him. Usually if you're going to have a double steal, the guy goes from first, but Sodbusters will take it. Still a chance to survive this with no damage done.
Now you're here is a guy that is yet to be retired into at-bats, Sean Robinson. A walk and a single for Mr. Robinson. Called a strike at the knees, 0-1. Robinson with that single, just his 4th hit of the summer in a total of 12 games with the Prospects, which was back in the 4th. 0-1, gets the call on the outside corner, 0-2 with 2 outs. Martin's at second, Hochstein at first. Spencer Schmidt with throw number 99 downstairs, and there will have to be a 100th pitch. So this will indeed be the last inning for Schmidt, and he'd love to cap off 6. Staring in at Johnston, the catcher, shaking off signs, now has the one he wants. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. The throw down to first won't matter. A fastball in the outside corner freezes Robinson, and that is the final out of the 6th inning, and a nice hand for Spencer Schmidt. He retires a total of 7 batters on strikes in 6 innings, and the Sodbusters will take their 10-3 lead into the bottom of the 6th. Blue Fork Kitchen features elevated comfort food in a family-friendly, fast casual environment. With a full menu, you can sit down for a nice meal or order online for pickup. From salads and wraps to burgers and steaks, Blue Fork Kitchen has your kind of food. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m., with a special brunch buffet Sunday from 9 to 2 p.m. Blue Fork Kitchen is located in the Cimarron Plaza, 38th and Osborne Drive in Hastings. Like them on Facebook.
Make your next pit stop at the Coach's Corner. A friendly staff and a deep lineup of snacks. You can find Coach's Corner in North Hastings on Osborne Drive East. More than just a gas station, Coach's Corner is the place to get delicious pizza made fresh for you and your family. Don't take our word for it. It's so good it'll be featured at selected Sodbuster home games this season. For a convenient and clean experience, be sure to check out the new convenience store in North Hastings, Coach's Corner.
We go to the bottom of the 6th. Hastings in command. However, both teams have been denied of any runs in their past 2 at-bats at the plates. Last scoring coming in the top of the 4th. We're here in the bottom of the 6th now, when the Prospects had a singular run. But it's Hastings with the 7-run lead. Cody Cizik is out. And to lead off, it's 3, 4, and 5. Looks like the Sodbusters will have a pinch hitter to lead things off. Jet Hannaford is standing right near the batter's box, so it appears that he will take over in the spots of Brady Alexander. Warm-ups completed. Cizik out for his 3rd inning on the mounds. And Jet Hannaford. Also, the Sodbusters look like they might go with some pinch hitters next as well. We will let you know when they come up for sure. But for sure in the box, Mr. Jet Hannaford, the Mountain Home native. Didn't play for ASU Mountain Home in the spring. But had a very respectable .274 average for the Sodbusters this summer. That ball fouled into the stands. Fortunately, it misses everyone on the right side. It was very close to a lady holding several beers. So, thank goodness.
I thought you were going to say a baby, but no. Several beers. Not just one, but several beers.
Oh, yes. There was. She had him kind of wrapped up like an
infant.
Like an infant a little bit. And,
protecting her baby.
She handed one off and then gave the thumbs up as saying that it missed her.
Life's good.
Jed Hannaford outside 2-1. Hannaford did not play in Sunday's game in the second game. He was in the first game and had a big RBI single against Fremont, part of that big 5-run 8th inning for Hastings. Pitch is just outside by Cizik. Jed Hannaford with 26 hits as a Sodbuster this summer and plays a pretty mean outfield. Cuts and misses at the 3-1 pitch. He was swinging for the fences right there and comes up empty. So now Cizik with a full count pitch. Hannaford sprays it out of play. Cizik has quieted the waters for the Prospects after his starter Beckett Lund gave up 10 runs. Hannaford pops it up. Shallow outfield. Calling for it is the shortstop Valdivia. Runs all the way over behind the second base bag and does make the play for the first out of the inning.
And if I'm Jet Hannaford, kind of do the old major league thing. I mean, as fast as he is, every time he pops it up, he ought to give me 10 push-ups. Put it on the ground, Jet Hannaford, because you can reach about 2/3 of the time if you just put it on the ground.
Kind of a Willie Mays Hayes-esque player.
Yeah, yeah.
From the wind and the delivery to the new pinch hitter, this is Joey Hecker. Hecker bounding in the place of Cale Jensen, who will finish his night 0 for 2. Joey Hecker, he is one of the incoming freshmen on the team that will be playing Division I baseball at Wazoo, better known as Washington State University. 1-1 to the righty. He puts a good swing on it into right center field. But going over is the right fielder, Jacob Perrin. And it comes down in his mitts for the second out of the inning. 2 up and 2 down. And man, Cody Cizik, he is finding a groove here.
Programming note, owner, general manager Scott Galusha just stuck his head in. And unless something happens, which in his job usually something does, but the plan is to have him in during the 7th inning.
All right, Scott will be on the heels of coaching several games over the weekends. I know that's he always says it, that's his happy place on the field. He would be out there every night if he can. Weston Johnston with an 0-1 count after fouling it back to the screen. 10-3 game, and a game that has picked up a little bit more with zeros across the scoreboard in the most recent 2.5 innings. Cizik has been very efficient as well. He's about to complete 3 innings and only has 45 pitches. Johnston today with a base hit back in the 4th. Curveball misses high, 2-1.
Looks like it's going to be Nate Fisher. He is now officially warming up. Creighton Jacobitz is catching him, by the way, but Fisher getting warm.
I just hope he has a mask on. I don't know if he does. Johnston smokes one into left field. A multi-hit game for Mr. Weston Johnston. Back-to-back singles and back-to-back at-bats. And Hastings will not go down 1-2-3 in this inning.
I believe 11 multi-hit games now for Weston Johnston.
That's what I had him at. I'm going to guess 12, but I don't believe I've updated them in a bit.
I will take your word for it.
That is a 2-hit game for him and puts Weston Johnston up to 43 hits. The team leader in hits last year, Ryan Jarvis and Drew Vega, had 47. So Johnston is approaching that mark. Jackson Crane, soft shot that finds the outfield. And going first to third is Johnston. Crane's got an opposite field single on a ball that might have been off the very end of the bat.
It eclipsed his 25 miles an hour hit that he had that was just over the first base bag, but not by much. I thought when he hit it, it was going to go to left, like a little hidden ball trick. He's like the magic capital of the world there, Jackson Crane. What a shot.
Now it's first and third as back-to-back singles have reached with 2 outs. And now a chance for Jude Greaves in his first at-bat tonight after coming on as a defensive replacement. .239 average for the Oak Grove, Missouri native. Playing his first full season of collegiate baseball in a long while due to lingering injuries. Greaves into right, fly ball for Perrin. Over to his left, on the run, makes the catch. Greaves is retired on the first pitch, and it's still 10-3. No score as we enter the 7th.
There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Part of the process, really. Got to get used to doing that.
Welcome back to Hastings Sodbuster Baseball as we enter this top of the 7th inning. Nate Fisher is on the mound, the tungsten arm for the Sodbusters this summer. Team leader in appearances will make another appearance tonight, and this will be his 17th out of the pen. And joining us for the 7th inning is general manager and co-owner Scott Galusha, fresh off of his coaching stint down on the field. I know you'd rather be down there right now, Scott, but thanks for joining us.
You know, I've got other things to do, so I was really happy to go down there and do that for Josh. I wish Sunday night would have ended a little bit different, but that is my happy place, so I surely enjoy doing that when I'm needed, but just wish it wouldn't have. That left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I thought we did just about everything right that night, and, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains. So I guess that's kind of how baseball goes.
Well, let's highlight our new pitcher, Nate Fisher, real quick. 24 innings, and he has a 1-1 record. Has a night given up 10 runs, 8 walks, 13 strikeouts. Has a little bit of a hit-by-pitch problem, but only a 3.38 ERA. So a guy that can pitch the baseball. We caught up with him recently and says that his sinker ball is his best pitch and likes to get command of it, but He said that he only recently added the squat in his delivery this fall, which I thought was very unique.
Yeah, I asked him that same thing. When did that start? And so that's what he told me. But, you know, it just kind of gives him – it's kind of like a golfer with his practice swing. There's something he's working on, so he's got to make sure he gets down low enough. But Nate's done a good job. He, you know, I think he said he's had a bit of a problem hitting batters. I would say that was his biggest problem is he's hit too many guys. But when he doesn't hit somebody, he's really tough to hit. It's hard to pick up a ball like that, and his ball has a lot of movement.
Yeah, and I asked him, too, like, what was the reason for it? He's like, well, have to stand out somehow on the mound and be dominant, and that submarine motion has seemed to work for him. And he will be back with Northeast Oklahoma next year after not seeing any playing time for them in the spring. For the prospects, 8-9-1, Isaac Borges to lead things off. He's tonight's beer batter, followed by Grayson Clark and Paul Schuyler. But 10-3 lead, Scott. It has looked so far so good with putting the pressure on early, even though the offense has kind of quieted off in the recent innings.
we've stalled a little bit, had a couple opportunities, had a couple of base running mistakes in I think that was the 5th inning for sure. But you know, really happy with it. You know, after what happened on Sunday, it was going to be a challenge for us to respond in a positive way. But I really think we've done that. Done an excellent job putting big numbers on the board and kind of putting this, keeping it out of reach when you have plenty of time to go still. But we've played really well offensively and pretty good defensively.
Pretty good defensively, as just one error between each side. Fisher's delivery is just inside, according to Daniel Roth. Borges has walked and struck out, but the final 4 home games of the regular season, at least, could be more if the Sodbusters make the playoff. But man, oh man, you just wonder, where is this season gone? And you just hope they close it out on a high note. But
yeah, we just have to take care of business this week, and I think we will. We've played really well against the prospects, and so I don't expect to see anything different. And I think we're going to have a chance to win every night. And if we can figure out how to win all 4 of these babies, then I think we're going to play meaningful games in Pierre on Saturday and Sunday.
And we talked with Steve and I talked about too with the end of the season coming up. Usually you're hurting to find pitchers. That's not the case. You said you're pretty set on pitchers. Just going to be taking hopefully 9 position players on the road to Pierre.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that's enough guys to hopefully get the job done this weekend? And maybe could we see anybody else?
You know, this is it. This is who we're going with. We're going to take. We're going to have 9 position players go to Pierre, and I think 8 pitchers. So we have plenty of. Usually we struggle finding enough arms to finish out seasons and series, but we have no problem there. Scheduled to have Nolte and West start Saturday and Sunday, and those kids had an impressive last weekend, and both feel good. So we're looking forward to that. We got to just continue to take care of business the rest of this week, and if we do that, this weekend in Pierre is going to be fun.
So here is Grayson Clark for the prospects, and that hits him. Checked his swing, and they say he didn't go, and that's going to cause some ire. The Sodbusters thought that he either swung at it or it hit the bat, I think.
Yep. Well, you can tell, Ryan, in Umpire 101, when I learned how to be an umpire from Dick Ross in Grand Island, he said, you know, if you don't know or you're not sure, just pay attention to the kids because they'll tell you.
Yep.
And you could definitely tell that he thought it was a foul ball. And so, you know, I don't know. If anybody's going to overrule him, it's going to be T, because T's got a pretty good eye on what's going on, and I'm pretty sure. Oh,
they're going to keep the call.
They're going to
looks
keep
like
him there.
Yeah, that was right off the inside.
Did you see the batter started walking down twice? So there.
Oh, wait a minute! Now he's coming back. Are they reversing the call?
There
now?
we go.
Okay, so we misinterpreted that.
Yeah, and I surely think that was the right call. You could tell by the reaction of the kid that hit the bat one way or the other. So I'm glad they got it right. And that's such a tough call for the home plate umpire. But if you watch the kid will tell you.
Usually it's skin and bats don't usually sound the same. It's very easy to tell in high school because it's metal. And bones don't sound like metal, but it looks like they got the call right here. So Grayson Clark, who, by the way, we mentioned, first off, the runner goes. Foul ball, it hit Clark in the box, and he is one of the younger guys. He is going to be an incoming high school senior, something you don't see too often. But the prospects going with him, just kind of an emergency role since they were down a catcher.
Yeah, we couldn't do that. I'm not sure.
But the prospects could.
The prospects apparently can, which is fine. We want everybody to have enough guys to play, because we were actually talking when we needed another guy. Jude came up and talked to me right away, and he said, my brother looks like he's huge, but he's not graduated yet, but he can play. And we asked, and we weren't able to do that, which is fine. But nice job by Nate. Come back and get that first out, and now he's in a little bit better rhythm.
There you go, the strikeout for Fisher, and that's. I'm glad you knew that, because that's what I was wondering. This is technically a collegiate summer league, so I wonder what the process with that is. But the prospects travel-only team.
My guess is it was a beg for forgiveness rather than ask for permission, but that's okay too. We want people to have enough guys to do this, and the prospects do a nice job as a travel team for us.
Call the strike on the outside corner, and prospects team still looking for their first win against Hastings this year, and we got to do the necessary first after we highlight the batter, Paul Schuyler, who has driven in a run with a ground out. There goes the runner, but it's a foul ball, so the runner Borges will have to go back to first base. Steve's motioning over to me, and he's the one seeing the pinch hitter here. And I'm usually the guy that sings it, so beg your pardon. This is a pinch hitter. This is Jake Smolinski instead of Paul Schuyler. Set a pickoff throw to first. Fisher's been gunning that thing over there. So, Scott, I know it's easy to we've been talking about playoff implications. I know the guys, that's all they can do is they can just win the game. But you're really looking forward to the Sodbusters likely winning out for the rest of the season as Smolinski strikes out. But just how important is this stretch of games right here, and how tough is it to kind of put that in the back of your mind, focusing on playoffs and just winning games?
Well, we definitely just need to go out there and take care of business and see whatever happens. Now, I mean, selfishly, I would love to make the playoffs, right? That's what our goal is. But really, and I've said this a lot, and it's really hard for me to anybody who's known me for a long time, there's a balk.
They called a balk there.
Yeah.
Fisher couldn't quite step off, and the runner was on his way to second. So Borges is in there.
Well, first of all, I think Nate was going to throw over anyway, and then got in between, and that was a good play by them. But anyway, so everybody who knows me knows that I'm competitive, and I want to win everything all the time. And I've said this story a long time. When my wife and I first got married, we'd say, hey, let's play cards. And I'd say, what do you want to play for? And she said, can't we just play cards? And I'm like, no, we can't. We have to play for something.
Galusha.
Yes, it is. That's who I am. But again, in as my role as the owner and whatever else, the president, whatever else I do here,
everything.
It's just not in the top 5 of things that we do that are important. We get good kids first who can play baseball. We want to try to keep this in the community. We want to give these kids an opportunity to grow both on and off the field, and I think we do all those things. But I also think we can do that and win. And so it's about our turn to get a chance to play at this, and I really think we have an opportunity to do that. We've had good numbers against the prospects this year. We've played really well against them and been very aggressive. So my hope is that we can take care of business Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then see what happens, because there's some teams that have more difficult schedules than we do. Spearfish and Casper play all week.
5 times against each other.
5 times going through there. So we're gonna make up some ground on them if we can get it done. Not sure. Did we figure this out?
It was a foul ball, apparently. The batter, Ripken Fleck, just got a piece of it. Look at the replay, and that got Daniel Roth near the belt area, but the Sodbusters thought it was a swing and a miss because Weston Johnson applied the tag to Fleck, but late call. Obviously, Daniel Roth in a little bit of pain after getting nicked by that foul ball, but that is what they call it, so it's still 1-2 on Ripken Fleck, who has an RBI single in this game. Runner dancing off second does not go. Pitch is outside to make it 2-2. Well, we got 3 games left after this one. Final chance to see the Sodbusters this season, Scott. Maybe after this pitch here, if there's any special reasons or special promotions to come see the Sodbusters, that's just foul.
Yeah, well, we have Pack the House night on Friday, so we have, we sell some tickets to some of our vendors, our partners, to give away. So we think Friday night's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope it's a meaningful game, and we're looking forward to that. We've got our pitching lined up kind of like how we want to. We got to just continue to take care of business. We'll have all kinds of specials. Both at the upper deck bar and the concession stand to try to take care of all the people that have been helping us. Oh, yes.
Diving catch. Welcome to the Sodbusters. That is Max Israel. His first game at Duncan Field, lays out like Superman to rob what was likely a run-scoring single for Ripken Fleck. Wow.
Nice play by Max. You know what? So I knew we were going to be short.
Yeah, where'd you find him, Scott?
Yeah. Well, I knew we were going to be short. Let's see. It would have been what is today? Today's Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday, indeed.
Okay. So I knew we were going to be short maybe a week ago. And so I started I called a few of our players that already left. I said, any chance you want to come back and play? And couldn't get anyone to do it, or nobody could do it. And so I sent a message to our team and said, hey, I know it's only a week, maybe 2 weeks if we make the playoffs, but does anybody know of anybody who wants to come down and play? And Spencer's been really impressed with what we do down here and called one of his teammates. And we talked to Max at 1 o'clock on Saturday, talked to his parents at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and they started driving down on Sunday.
Wow.
So Max is going to be with us. Nice to get him a start today, kind of get his feet wet, and what a way to make a nice first impression by making a big play.
A big play. He's also got a hit that's, I believe, drove in a run in the game.
It did.
He did. That was the chopper shot that was right over the pitcher, so he's got it all here.
I think, though, it looks like a line drive in the scorebook, if I remember, because they don't ask for pictures, right?
They don't.
So, yeah. When he gets older, he can tell people, and his first hit was a line drive to center, drove in a run. But, baseball's such a funny game because, really, if you look back at our year, Ryan, if we hit the ball super duper hard, we usually don't score very many runs. But if we make good contact and just make good swings, then we get a lot of singles. Because we've hit the ball really hard a lot and not gotten a lot to show for it, which is because we play at this wonderful facility that's so quirky that it just where fly balls just go to die.
I think that is probably one of our most used phrases on the broadcast, where fly balls go to die, because there's no better way to put it.
No.
You're not going to get anything over the outfilders' heads unless you're Luke Cossey, who's did it again today.
But that doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
So I don't know. I know I started it, but I can't remember for sure who I got it from, or if I just said it off the top of my head. I don't know. But I don't know why we don't have a shirt that says that. I was just sitting here saying that again, going, man, why don't we have a shirt? We have the Fear the Break shirts, which is nice, but we need to have of course, it's not really a great thing to say, but this is definitely where fly balls go to die.
Well, for the Sodbusters now in the 7th inning, up by 7 runs. It's Luke Ray, Max Israel, and Chase Miller, the first up. This is a new pitcher for the prospects, Nikolai French. He is a two-way player and will be making his 8th appearance, be the third time that he has seen the Sodbusters this summer.
Yeah, he just newly signed with South Dakota State also.
Congratulations, the Division I signee there.
Yeah.
3 1/3 innings against the Sodbusters this summer. He's given up a total of 6 runs in those innings, so the Sodbusters have had his number. He throws hard, but he has had a little bit of command issues. He has walked 19 batters, only hit 4 in a total of 12 1/3 innings, and another pitching change, which is brought to you by JoyridePedalCo.com. If you're looking for a unique way to celebrate, sip, and cruise through town, visit their website for a nice night out in Hastings.
Have you ever done that?
You know, I actually haven't. I'm from Lincoln, as you know, and they have it's called group therapy there. I've had friends that have done it all the time. I'd love to try it someday, just haven't gotten to yet.
You should. It's fun. We did it when my daughter Maddie graduated, what I was getting into, but it was super enjoyable. It's one of those things that when you finally do it for the first time, you're going, man, this is a good time. So you should go out and try it. It's a good times.
And the best part is that you're supposed to pedal, but you technically don't even have to.
No, you don't.
You can just be there along for the ride if you wish, but fun time nonetheless at Joyride Pedal Company. The 9th hole hitter, Max Israel, puts one in the air to center. Racing in is Borges. He'll have plenty of room to get there. Didn't get the best read of it at the starts, but his electric speed, pretty much every center fielder that plays ball here at Duncan is an elite defender.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't have 3 center fielders out there today, although Kazi is close. But a lot of times, as you know, I mean, when I'm recruiting outfielders or looking at outfielders, they got to have an 8 or a CF by their name because you got to be able to run to play out there for us.
And the 2 outs, 2 quickly up and 2 quickly down. Chase Miller and Steve and I, we've been saying such good things about Chase Miller.
Oh.
He had a great play to rob. It was Paul Schuyler of a hit earlier. His defense has been stellar, and he's shown a good eye at the plate too. He takes his walks when he needs to. Definitely think he might be one of the guys that gets an invite back next year.
Yeah, we did. I've there's just a few guys that we've extended those offers to. Chase and both guys from both position players from Saginaw Valley. I know Zane Wilson had to leave early, but he's a nice player and a really good athlete. He didn't play the best for us, but he's exactly the quality of kid. And matter of fact, he was just playing better when he had to go.
Nope.
But those, it's fun to see these kids grow. And Chase was an extra guy for maybe the first half of the season.
Oh yeah.
And he has blossomed both offensively and defensively. He's been rock solid over there at shortstop for us for the better part of 2.5, 3 weeks for sure. So really happy for him.
He has played a mean shortstop, to say the least. Chase Miller ends up working a 4-pitch walk and brings up the guy that hit the wall ball, Luke Cossey. And when I'm trying to think, was we saw back in 2023 a few home runs by Sodbusters. Nobody had more than one.
Yep.
But Luke Cossey now with an over the fence and inside the park home run.
Yeah.
The list of home runs here is already short, but 2 home runs in a season probably got to be even shorter.
Yeah, and hats off to him, because when you hit a ball that hard, the one thing you're not thinking probably is running hard out of the box.
Yep.
But in order to make that an option, he had to be running hard right out of the box, and he was.
I thought he was headed for his team-leading 8th triple of the season.
Yeah.
But, just a 6th triple the season would have been. But he got the green lights. Saw a printer hold up. I'm forgetting, I think it was Tyler Welsh who had probably his first triple ever in a season.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity to get the inside park home run, but with nobody out, Printer held him up at third as Cossey works the walk. 2 straight walks now for Nikolai French, and they'll bring up Jed Hannaford. But I think it's just been the guys have been getting back to fundamental baseball this week. There's been a couple of stretches where maybe guys have been trying to put it over the bricks, but overall, I feel like the approach has been there for the guys in this final few stretches of games.
I agree. Our approach to the plate has been much better. We've played good defense for the most part, and our pitchers have avoided those self-inflicted wounds for the most part. And when you do those things at Duncan Field, you're going to have a chance to win. So really proud of this group. It's a great group of kids. They're all near and dear to my heart. But this group, amazingly so, they came together so fast.
Yeah.
Usually don't see that in summer with kids coming from all over the country, but they still do things together, which is really cool, and which is really what we want.
Well, I know this probably isn't much more up your alley, but we recently had the annual TikTok posted for the team where the guys telling the whole world which teammate would they not let date their daughter. Did you see that one?
I did see that one. I do pay attention to that stuff, Ryan, because I have to. I just simply tell them, I want you to have fun. If you're going to do something that is borderline in any way, shape, or form, I just soon know beforehand. But they are good. I didn't see the results of the poll. However,
yes,
I will tell you, and they're probably not watching, but there's a good story if we have time. So a couple years ago with Will Horton was here.
Oh, yeah, way back.
And Will gave me the call at the end of the year that says, hey, can I come talk to you? And what that usually means at the end of July is I'm leaving early.
Yep.
Well, Will, and a great young man, if he happens to be listening, it's great. So So he comes up to talk to me, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, what's going on, Will? And what he said was he wanted to ask my daughter out on a date.
Man.
And it was Allie. Allie was working for us. As a matter of fact, Allie's birthday is Friday. So happy birthday, Allie, if you're listening. So anyway, he comes up there, and I don't even know what to say at first. I'm like, wait a second.
Was that a jaw dropper probably?
No, not really, because I was able to maintain my composure a little bit,
All right.
and I let him do it.
All right.
You know, I believe in my kids, and of course, Will was a complete gentleman to my daughter, and she had a good time. He took her to dinner, so that was fun. So that has happened before, but it was definitely interesting for sure. But Will's a great guy, and was a great sodbuster for us for 2 years, and an ambassador for us, and just does a lot of good things. Matter of fact, I hear from him every once in a while, which is really the coolest part of the job. Yep.
Well, they walk to Hannaford, and it's now that Nikolai French has walked the bases loaded after recording the first 2 outs of the inning, and here comes head coach Gabe Shemwell. Before we get too far away from the daughter dating topics,
we can.
The surprising, not a majority, but the most guys, I think it was 4 guys, they chose the soft-spoken Elijah Thomas.
That was the guy they didn't want him to date?
That was the guy that the most said that they did not want them to date their daughter, which I did my spotlight on him recently, and he seems like a pretty reserved, quiet, soft-spoken guy.
Wonderful young man. You know, I'll never forget Elijah. I picked him up from the airport, and we talked fishing for 35 minutes.
He told me that's his main hobby is fishing.
Yeah, he loves fishing. So, matter of fact, I gave him a couple poles so he could do some fishing while he was down here. He had a good time. But I don't know.
Weston Johnston, Luke Cossey were other answers, but it was pretty spread out. Most guys on the roster got at least 1 vote, so it wasn't overwhelming by any means. But, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Didn't know if you
I did not see the results.
know anything, but maybe about why it is. We'll just have to – we may never know. But batting with the bases loaded, here is Joey Hecker, a chance to do some real damage here for the Sodbusters, who haven't scored – since the 3rd inning. Pitch is outside, and Nikolai French is laboring here. He has kind of lost command of the zone for the most part.
Well, right now he's flying open, so he's either gonna miss high and out or low and in. He's got to get that figured out pretty quick, or this game's gonna be over.
2-1 pitch to the lefty, and that's behind him. Wild pitch back to the screen. Here comes the run to score. Miller crosses the dish on the wild pitch. It's now 11-3.
And if we get a single here, it's over because they're not going to throw. I would be surprised if they threw Jet out. He's pretty fast.
Well, we saw him while we were talking. A little quirk for him. Every time he walks, he sprints down to first base, a la Michael Conforto in the MLB.
Yep.
He takes no time and just sprint. It's either him or Brandon Nimmo. I get those two Met guys mixed up.
I don't know for sure which one it is, but I know that Jet got hit pretty good once, and he had to gather himself first, and then he took off like a madman. So, you know, I'm not always great at making calls, but I'm telling you, I think this might be the last hitter of the game. I feel like if he throws one in there, Weston's going to lace one, and then I think we're going to get out of here a little bit early.
He's already got a 2-hit game tonight with a pair of singles in his last 2 at-bats. French's first pitch. There goes the lumber on the swing and the miss back to the screen. And not the first time we've seen that this summer. Fortunately, that one didn't get into the stands at all.
Were you guys able to see how far that Cossey's bat went the other day?
Oh, yeah. Man, and it landed right in the lap of some fans almost to the farthest edge of the bleachers.
Yeah, that was about as far as you could possibly throw it. That was impressive, and really glad no one got hurt.
Weston Johnston with a multi-hit game already, looking for his 3rd 3-hit game to walk it off, but French drops in a really good breaking ball to make it 0-2.
Come on, Westy.
Got to make the fortune teller right. We're manifesting it.
Yep.
Bases loaded, needing 2 runs to win it. Check swing.
Good.
Did not go. That breaking ball, a devastating pitch, but Johnston lays off of it. I joked that he's wearing 18 instead of 26 today because his big muscles ripped the 26 jersey open.
Yeah, He probably just forgot it, would be my guess. I don't know for sure. I haven't heard that story. But
1-2 from French. Ground ball to third, just foul. And we will do the 1-2 pitch again. Let's take a look really quickly at the other games in the league tonight. At last check, it was 7-1 Spearfish, and now it is 8-2 Spearfish in the 7th.
Good. Is that the only other game tonight?
That's the only other game tonight. Fremont has the night off, but they are already eliminated from postseason contention.
Oh,
Johnston to short, and they'll go to short way to second. Johnston,
look at that. I was wrong again.
Does put it in play, but unfortunately the Sodbusters will have to play in 8th inning, but we love playing baseball around here.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful evening, too.
Scott, who do you have to say hi to before we say farewell here?
Well, first of all, my family's watching for sure. We got Olivia is going to do Dizzy Bat. It's her last day today.
Oh, no way.
So we're missing Olivia, and we've got, I don't know who's going with her. Andy, it looks like.
Is Trevor going to do it?
I can't think Trevor's going to do it. They tried to talk me into it, but I said no way.
Oh, my gosh. That would be disaster, I feel like.
You think that would be disaster for me to do it?
I think so.
Oh, man, I would cheat. I would take somebody out.
All right.
Yep, I would not spin very fast, and I would see what I could do to make sure I won, but I thought that was the better choice was to leave this one alone. But
that's probably a good idea.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for what you do. Let's finish this off good, and we'll live to play another game. And exactly what's happening is what we need. We need Spearfish to keep winning.
Absolutely.
And if we do that, we're going to have a real chance to get in here and sneak in and see what happens.
All right, Scott, thanks for your time. We'll hope to see you tomorrow night.
Yep. Good night, guys. Thank you.
We're going to keep it right here as Olivia and assistant coach Andy do the Dizzy Bat race. Andy's not going very fast. Olivia is. She veers off to the left. Andy's going straight forward. That's because Andy didn't spin around at all. So Scott just said off mic, Andy's used to being dizzy. I think Olivia, she tried way harder to spin there. So take what you will on that. But the Sodbuster Dizzy Bat race here in this bottom of the 7th inning as we just stretched. We're now in the top of the 8th, and still back out for his second inning of work is Nate Fisher. And for the 8th inning, Steve Stein's back with us. Steve, I hope you enjoyed your break. Back to you, partner.
You got the bases loaded. You got the potential game-ending run to second. You could have just finished it. I would have been totally okay with that.
He said Weston's going to end it right here, and his crystal ball was just a little bit off.
Yep, that's too bad. Yeah, when it started 2 up, 2 down, I'm thinking, let's get this thing rolling, and then walk. And you had some hope, but Sodbusters do add an insurance run. 11-3 as we head to the top half of the 8th inning, and the Nebraska Prospects trying to get something going against Nate Fisher. Did a nice job at his first inning after having an issue early on. It looked like the first 2 would reach, but they ended up ruling that number 9 hitter hit a foul ball instead of the hit batsman, and now Jacob Perrin, who's had a tough day, is at the plate. He is 0 for 3, and Fisher, that's been the issue. He just just let that and get away, and thankfully it was inside or wide of the right-handed batter's box and behind the hitter. Hitting right-handed hitters has been a problem for Fisher, and he let that one get away, but fortunately lives to pitch another one here and puts this one right down the middle for a strikeout, as Fisher did officially hit one last inning. He hit a guy on a 3-2 pitch. So instead of a walk, it was a hit batsman. That was the only base runner that reached. Now trying to get Perrin out here. 1-2 pitches, bounce to the right side. Here's Max Israel charging, throwing to first in time. Max has been a nice little addition. A great play on a line out to end the 7th, and he gets the first chance here in the 8th.
Yeah, you'd love to give him another start too. Scott told us that, he got here very quickly. Talked to him on a Sunday afternoon. Parents on a Sunday afternoon. They hit the road the next day to come play the final week for the Sodbusters, and who knows, he could very likely be a starting second baseman the rest of the way.
You betcha. You've got Luke Ray as that option, but he's over at third today. Of course, you've got Joey Hecker in there, and I'm not exactly sure who the 9 position players are going to be who are going to be here for the Oahe series, but you may be asked to play at a position in that game. Let's pitch inside to Mike Valdivia. He's 1 for 3 on the day. 1-1 the count to him. 1 out. 8th inning. Sodbusters on top 11-3, needing either 5 outs or a couple of runs in the 8th inning to win this one by a run rule. Thought that we're going to get that done in the 7th, but couldn't quite. 3-0 the count now on Mike Valdivia, who stands in the left-handed box. As Fisher takes the bend, brings it across, and that's a strike. Mike Valdivia, Iowa Western guy. He graduated from Millard West, coming off a 3-hit game yesterday in the win over Fremont, which eliminated the move from playoff contention. Bouncing ball over the Sodbusters dugout, and it'll get over to the area of the head coach for the Nebraska Prospects, Gabe Shemwell, but he'll leave it for Spencer Schmidt. Celebrates a nice starting performance, and will be the winner unless something disastrous happens here late as he ends up working the first 6 for the Hastings Sodbusters. Getting his first win of the summer. He took a loss as part of the Plainsmen earlier this year, but going to pick up a win here and the start for Hastings. 3-2 now. Fisher brings it home. And the pitch is outside, and apparently now. Well, everybody thought it was a walk except Mike Valdivia, and he does now reluctantly go to first.
It's like Uno. He didn't say Uno, like he didn't know he had to walk, so he has to come back now, right?
That's right. Here's Aiden Martin. Martin, a multi-hit game as he is 2 for 3. Couple of singles, a run scored. 11-3 Hastings trying to close things out, get back on the winning track after that really tough loss at the hands of Fremont that saw a 4-run lead slip away in the final at bat. Pitch fouled straight back. That was on the heels of a really nice win for Hastings, which put up 4 runs in the 8th inning of the suspended game to win 5-1. Followed that up, shut the Fremont team out the first 6 innings, had a 4-0 lead and gave up 9 in the final 2 at-bats, the 4 to tie it, and then the extra frame saw the Moo win it. But Hastings bouncing back with a vengeance today, scoring early and often. 10 in the first 3 innings before this game settled down to some normalcy. Big swing, no contact for Aiden Martin, and he's down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Nate Fisher, sneaky fast, has got that bizarre delivery that dates back to his high school days. Realized that he can get people out doing that. Was not going to be a velocity kind of guy, so had to change his approach to get outs, and it works for him. Runner bluffs going, then doesn't go. Nice backhand stop for Jude Dreves. His steps on the bag, comes in for defensive purposes, and that's why, as he makes the second out of the inning, robbing Martin of base hit.
Good job by Greaves just to get the surefire out. In an 8-run game, I don't mind that. If it's a little bit closer, you might like to see him go and get the lead runner at second base. But again, just up 8. You'll take the outs any way they come.
And here comes Nikolai French batting for himself as he is going to get an at-bat here, taking over for Finn Hochstein, who was 0 for 2. So Nikolai French bats here in the 8th inning with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position for the Prospects. Here's the pitch. Hard hit ball, but foul. So Hochstein's day is done. The DH, the guy from Seward, Nebraska, to be more accurately, not Seward, Alaska. There's just 3,501 miles between Seward, Nebraska and Seward, Alaska.
That would be a long way.
2 days, 9 hours if you want to make the drive without stopping. Here's the pitch. And it misses. And I'm not sure if there is a sign in Seward, Alaska, but there is a sign in Seward, Nebraska that points to Seward, Alaska saying, I assume somewhere around 3,501 miles. That's according to MapQuest. I don't know if Alaska has returned the favor, but 2-1 delivery, bouncing ball off the glove of Fisher, and everybody's going to be safe at no man's land there. Now Fisher throws it, and probably shouldn't have. Nice save there for Greaves. There'll be runners at the corners now and 2 men out after the infield single for Nikolai French.
Gets a hit in his first at-bat and a pitch that was right up the middle. You'd say, usually for the pitchers, you say let it go and let your defense make the play behind you. That wasn't a play that necessarily Fisher couldn't have made, but he just didn't right there.
Pitch just misses to Sean Robinson, and if he does let it go, you feel like the range of Chase Miller, maybe he's got a chance at that one, but we'll never know. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs in the 8th, 11-3 Sodbusters on top. Nebraska trying to get one of those runs back as the pitch is inside to Sean Robinson. Nate Fisher, really good interview conducted by Ryan Valenti. You can check that out on Spotify. Search Sodcast as neat background for Nate Fisher. Bouncing ball foul. He's lived a few different places. His dream stop, he'd love to play for the University of Miami, where his dad was a bullpen catcher. And interestingly enough, he does play in Miami, kinda, but it's Miami, Oklahoma, home of the NEO Golden Norseman. He's from Bixby, Oklahoma, graduated there, but Miami, Florida would be his dream next stop. We'll see how it all works out for him. 2-1 delivery on the way, and a line drive right side, and on the run, making the grab. Oh my goodness, Luke Causey. It's fun to see him back out there, and maybe 100%. Battling a knee issue, but it certainly did not look like it there as he covered a lot of ground to steal a hit and an RBI from Sean Robinson. Head of the bottom half of inning number 8, 11-3 Hastings. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Hastings Sodbusters baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate woodbat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to HastingsSodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Sodbusters needing either 2 runs or 3 outs to close out this game. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, 11-3. They could win by run rule if they get 2 more, or they can just take it to the 9th and put 3 more outs on the board to win for the 27th time. And some good news in the ILB.
Spearfish still in the lead. It's getting a little bit later against Casper. That game now an 8-4 advantage. Casper just struck for 3 runs in the top of the 7th. Spearfish is up. They two teams that play each other 5 times this week to close out the regular season.
If, and I say if, because we know how precarious a 4-run lead can be. If these scores hold, that would mean Hastings would catch Casper, and they would be in a quasi-tie. Both teams would be 5 games over 500. I think Hastings would lead by percentage points, so they would move into 3rd place in the ILB standings. Oahe has 4 games left, 2 at Fremont, 2 with the Sodbusters. They are off today. And Hastings trying to climb the ladder, doing what they can. All they can do is win and let the rest of the games play out as they will. Here's Jackson Crane. Crane with a big day. He's 1 for 2, but he's been on base 3 times. He's driven home a run with a bases loaded walk. Jackson Crane, starting left fielder for the Hastings Sodbusters, takes a strike. Good one there for Nikolai French, out for his 2nd inning of work. It was a really bizarre first inning. 2 up, 2 down. Looked like he could pitch all day, and then he couldn't find the strike zone as he walked 4 in a row, but managed to get out of that, still keeping this game going. This is this pitch, 1 ball and 1 strike. As Nikolai French, right-handed pitcher, South Dakota State guys, an Omaha West Side grad. 1-1 delivery, and that pitch misses outside. Most of the guys are from the Omaha metro area. You see some other guys sprinkled in from Seward and Lincoln, across the border from Council Bluffs. 2-1 delivery on the way, and popped a mile high. This one will be just outside the infield, and actually coming in on the brown part of the turf was Ripken Fleck to make the catch in fair territory, and Jackson Crane is out.
So French, you mentioned, just lost control in that 7th inning, but a different guy who don't see the pitch thrown, at least according to our flight scope, very often. He's throwing a cut fastball, so it's basically the fastball speed with a little bit of movement, the opposite the direction of a 2-seam, which is about 80 to 82 miles an hour.
Here's Jude Greaves taking ball one. He flew out to right in his only other plate appearance. Came in defensively for Tyler Welsh. Made a really good defensive play in the top half of the 8th inning. Sodbusters lead it 11-3 in the bottom of the 8th. This one's skied in the air to right field, and it is going to fall foul. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jude Greaves, Metro Community College, Kansas City. Another guy who's been invited back for next year. You never know. 1 year to the next. It's just like us. You going to do Sodbusters next year? I don't know. We'll have to see how it all works out.
Scott said they've invited a couple of people back, which includes Chase Miller and Zane Wilson. Otherwise, got to fight for it till the end to see you.
Pitch is missing here. 2 balls and a strike. And it's like my wife always asks me after every season if I do the games next year. She says, are you not going to do the games next year? Remember COVID? We never know. We just never know from day to day, from year to year.
We could be suffering from nuclear warfare.
That's right.
Next year.
You get to be my age, they always talk about the guys day to day. I'm day to day. That's,
You just never know.
Yeah, you just never know. 3-1 the count now on Jude Greaves, trying to work his way on here with 1 out, and the pitch is swung on and missed. 3-2 on Greaves. 1 out, nobody on. In the 8th, Sodbusters with an 11-3 lead. 3 more home games after this one. If you're in central Nebraska, 6:35 for the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday games here at historic Duncan Field. And then, by golly, Jude Greaves didn't even move. It's 3-2. Get out of the way. Take a walk. Nope, he takes one on the backside. You're never going to catch Jackson Crane for being hit by a pitch, but Jude Greaves will draw a little closer.
Yeah, that one stood tall like a statue. Obviously, he wanted that.
That's right.
He's a sucker for pain.
Here's Luke Ray. Ray trying to get it going here. 0 for 4 in this one. Mentioned he had a really good year at Arkansas Tech. Late season replacement for the Sodbusters. He'll be here the next 3 games, but he's another one of the guys who kind of told Scott that he wouldn't be available for that final weekend, so be saying goodbye to Luke Ray after Friday's game against the Prospects. 1 ball and no strikes the count on Luke Ray, number 8 hitter in the Sodbuster lineup. 1 on, 1 out. Sodbusters on top 11-3. Pitch nearly sailed beyond the reach of Grayson Clark. Did a good job hanging in there. 2 balls and no strikes. It's just been feast or famine for the right-handed pitcher, Nikolai French. Seemingly in control, and then he'll lose the zone for a batter or 2 and is now 2-0. And we'll put a strike at the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike on Luke Ray, one of the more aggressive majors, mechanical engineering for Luke Ray. So baseball's one thing, but he's going to be a mechanical engineer. Hallelujah for that. Hard hit ball to left field, smokes this one, but right at the left fielder. And Sean Robinson takes care of Luke Ray for the 2nd out here in the 8th inning. And I like baseball, but does the world need more baseball players or mechanical engineers? Hats off to Luke Ray.
I would go with probably mechanical engineers.
Yep. Here's Max Israel. Israel, a couple of nice defensive plays as of late, has an infield single and a run batted in, and he is playing his first game for the Sodbusters and takes a ball. Flew out to center field his last time up. 1 for 3 for Max Israel. Runner at first, 2 outs. Sodbusters up by 8, needing 3 outs to close it in the 9th. Ooh, high and tight, and Max Israel, don't hurt the new guy. And I'm not sure if I got him on the helmet, maybe upper
like
shoulder, I'm not sure, but he's apparently up and all right, headed to first base.
Yeah, I thought I heard a plastic clunk on the helmets, but the way he was diving away from it, just a glancing blow it looks like, as French has now hit a pair of batters this inning.
So the Sodbusters will go back to the top of the order and Chase Miller. Hadn't had many guys hit by pitches, but now it's starting to mount again as Hastings trying to catch a Wahi for the league lead in being hit by pitches. Chase Miller, see what he can get done with 2 outs as the potential game-ending run is on base. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. If Miller finds a gap, maybe you score 2 here and don't have to play the 9th. A strike on Chase Miller's had 3 long extended at-bats. Swings and misses here. Has drawn 3 walks. He's 0 for 2. Again, his line doesn't look impressive, doesn't look pretty, but then all of a sudden, okay, he's scored 3 times and just been a part of every Sodbuster rally, and you like that at the top of the order, making his debut in that spot, and he takes it off the backside. So last inning, we saw Nikolai French walk 4. This inning, he hits 3. And now a single to the outfield, and Luke Causey can end the game here.
Well, there's walking the bases loaded, and then, like you said, there's hitting the bases loaded. Not something that you would like to do, especially with 2 outs. Back-to-back hit by pitches and a dangerous hitter, Luke Causey, who's already sent one to the wall and singled up the middle. Could be showers early, just a half inning early if he could get a base hit.
It does keep your pitch count down. If you're gonna load the bases anyway, you may as well hit the guys, right? That's way outside. So you almost thinking you're overcompensating there. Okay, I'm not gonna hit this guy, left-handed hitter up there, and he nearly threw it beyond the right-handed batter's box. Sodbusters with a potential game-ending run at second. The pitch to Causey. Taken upstairs for ball 2, 2 balls, and no strikes on Luke Causey. Great to see him back in the lineup. 3 3-hit games coming into today for the season. 2-0 delivery. Big swing and a miss there. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Looking for another 3-hit game here. And what a day it's been. A single, a 3-run inside the park home run here at Duncan Field. 2-1 delivery. Outside for ball 3. 3-1 the count. With Greaves at third, Israel at second, Miller at first. Bottom of the 8th, Hastings trying to wrap up a run rule victory with 2 runs here and the pitch. Way outside, there's one of them home. So 3-hit batsman and a walk in the inning. That will score Greaves. Israel, the potential game-ending run now at third base, and we'll see what Jet Hannaford can get done. A lot of options here to get that game-ending run home. It's 12-3.
If I'm the Sodbusters, I'm taking a pitch right here until I get a strike. Got some room to work with French seemingly wild here.
Here's the pitch.
Well, there it is.
Taken for a strike.
So much for that.
That was really good. And that was, if you were going to paint the inside corner, Nikolai French, like I say, it's been feast or famine for him and brings this one just off the inside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jet Hannaford. Batting for the 3rd time already since coming in the 6th. Popped it up and has walked so far. 1-1 pitch high. Oh, let it in. Jet Hannaford even knew it. He looked away. Dadgummit, if that hits me in the helmet, the game is over, and he's muttering something to himself. Jet Hannaford realizes he could have had the game-winning hit batsman. Game-ending, I should say. 2-1 delivery. That's right across for a strike. And so Nikolai French, it's one of those deals where catcher shouts the old Bull Durham. I'm not sure where it's going. 2-2 pitch. Hannaford stays alive because one pitch comes right over your head. The next one painted on the outside corner. You figure it out. 12-3. Sodbusters lead it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch. Hannaford pops it up. Did they find it? No, it's going to fall, and the Sodbusters will win it. Second baseman lost it, I believe, and it falls for a run rule victory as Jake Smolinski saw it fall over his glove. The outfielders could not get to it, and Jet Hannaford with the RBI single as he gets a shower. Technically, it's a walk-off win. I don't know if it counts. I mean, is a run rule victory a walk-off victory?
If you win the at-bat, if you win the game in your last at-bat, causing the game to end, absolutely.
All right, so there we go. So the 4th walk-off, that's from Ryan Valenta. That's why he is the best in the business, verifying that. And the Sodbusters do end this 1 inning prematurely as an 8-inning run rule victory, 13-3. We will talk about it right after this. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Hastings Sodbusters baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate woodbat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to hastingssodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. FiskChiropracticSportsClinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Hastings Sodbusters take a run rule victory from the Nebraska Prospects 13-3. Early offense, late offense, Ryan Valenta, and nice to come out and bounce back from that tough second game Sunday, get the day off, and start this four-game series anew with the Prospects on a high note.
Yeah, that was the big key tonight, was just making sure that the Sodbusters rebounded from that embarrassing Sunday loss where they could have absolutely kept a win streak coming into tonight, but with a Nebraska Prospects team that hasn't played very much. The Sodbusters showed no signs of bad loss hangover whatsoever, for lack of a better term, scoring 4 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 4 runs in the third, before both teams kind of settled in for a little bit until Hastings got the final 3 runs of the game to walk it off early. And that last ball, by the way, even though it probably should have been caught by whoever, we'll never know. Looked back in the stream, the center fielder, Borges, had his arms out a little bit. Maybe he lost it. The other second baseman and the right fielder weren't able to get there as well. But it goes off as a walk-off base hit for Jed Hannaford, who got the shower in the infield. 4th walk-off for Hastings this year. But just a better job to come out strong tonight and keep your foot on the gas pedal. Set the tone, hopefully, for the rest of the week.
You betcha, and got the offense going early as 4 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, 4 runs in the third inning. And how about the job from Spencer Schmidt? Didn't know really what you were going to get. A guy's normally a reliever, but he had his longest outing of the year. Even go back to the Plainsman, goes 6 innings, allows 3 runs on 5 hits, strikes out 7, and walks 3. He did hit 1, and Nate Fisher comes in and closes it out. 2 innings of no-run baseball, allowed 1 hit. He did hit 1, walk 1, and strike out 2. And then from a hitting standpoint, mention the fact that Sodbusters 10 runs those first 3 innings. Highlight of the day, Luke Causey, 2 for 4, an inside the park home run. That was a 3-run shot. He also had another RBI, scored 3 times. He would be your offensive player of the game if you had one. Weston Johnston, 2 for 4 with a run scored. Those the multi-hit games. And then Chase Miller at the top of the order, 0 for 2, but 3 walks, 3 runs scored. Brady Alexander, before being pinch hit for, 1 for 2, an RBI, 2 runs scored. Jet Hannaford, the aforementioned walk-off winner, 1 for 2 with the game-ending RBI single. Cale Jensen had a run batted in and 2 at-bats today. You saw Jackson Crane get that little cue shot off the end of the bat for an RBI single. Tyner Welch, very effective day, 1 for 1, an RBI and a run scored. He walked twice. Jude Greaves coming on as a pinch hitter, scores a run. And the Sodbusters get their newcomer, Max Israel, 1 for 3, an RBI, 2 runs scored, and a good defensive game for him in his debut, about as good as you can ask for the Hastings Sodbusters. The Nebraska Prospects, they ended up with 6 hits on the day, and their top performer, Aiden Martin, he goes 2 for 4 with the runs scored. Sodbusters getting some early offense against Beckett Lund. He goes 3 innings, takes the loss, 10 runs, 9 of those earned on just 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, 7 walks. The Sodbusters took advantage of that and some late wildness to end up getting the run rule victory. And Josh Printer has joined us now. Welcome back. Hope the wedding went well and you come back and pick up a win here, getting back on the horse.
For sure. Thank you. Wedding was good. Good to see a bunch of my good buddies back home. So, but yeah, also really happy to be back. I mean, I've missed it, but no, it was good, and just happy to be back and happy we got the win tonight.
Early offense. Talk a little bit about that. The getting 10 runs those first 3 innings.
No, I mean just coming out ready to swing it. They definitely helped us a little bit on the walk side of it, and just whenever we were up in the count, that's a big thing. Is we were a lot of the first 3 innings we were ahead of the count most of the day, and just took advantage of that, just being ahead of the count and just ready to swing it when we got a chance. So.
And the pitching staff, not sure how long it was to pitch Spencer Schmidt, but what a day for him. 6 very, very good innings, and helps you limit the bullpen to just allowing Nate Fisher to go 2 innings as well. Spencer Schmidt, talk about his success tonight.
Heck of a job, and he didn't know he was throwing. We had Marcus Miller throwing today, and then kind of a late scratch from him. Scott said something about I don't want to say the wrong thing. He had stitches in his mowing injury. But great job for especially late notice. But just going out there, he wanted the ball. I trusted him, and just came out and pitched very, very good and picked us up and gave us five really good innings, maybe 6. But yeah, just really good for him. And then Fish did a really good job coming back in, and that was his last start of the year, or last appearance of the year. He's heading out, but really happy for Fish going out on a good note.
Yep, Schmidt going the 6 innings to pick up the victory today. Offensively, Luke Causey joins probably a very elite club. We talked about the fact that maybe it was going to be Cale Jensen in that club earlier this year. A home run out of the park, a home run inside the park here at Duncan Field. Talk about that hit and the choice to send him there.
Yeah, so right fielder didn't really play it that well off the wall, and then I saw kind of a lazy pop up back to the middle infield. And as a middle infielder, I knew they didn't think we were going to send him. So as soon as I saw that out of the hand, I was waving them. But no, I mean with 2 outs, totally different situation than Kale's, because with nobody out with Kale, no reason to push it. But with 2 outs in the situation and the lob throw in, and just I just kind of took a gamble and ended up paying off.
And for a newcomer tonight, Max Israel, want to highlight him too. Gets a hit and a run driven in, and that diving play at second base too. And I think he might have earned himself a start or 2 in the rest coming the week. Talk about his performance and if we can expect to see him again, maybe.
Oh yeah, I think he's really a utility guy, first base, second base, and outfield. But really good job coming in first day. Had beat out, running really hard. Hit that chopper over the mound and then beat it out. And then heck of a dive there in to end one of the innings. Heck of a dive up the middle there. But no, really excited to have him. We kind of picked each other's brain all BP, and really excited to have him.
And you mentioned utility. What a perfect guy to have, because
right.
First baseman, second baseman, and you've got some outfielders. But that final weekend, you're going to look for guys to plug in wherever they can play, and the more versatility you got, probably the better.
Absolutely. We never have too many position guys right now, and it's usually the opposite at the end of the year. Usually trying to find pitchers here at the end of the year, and it's kind of pretty stacked up on the position side of it. But no, Spencer actually found him. He played with him, or good buddies with him, and told him that we lost, I think, Ryan Jarvis, our first baseman, and then which Welsh has been playing really, really good over there. But lost Jarvis, and then we just lost Vega. So really big pickup for him having Max.
Josh Printer, head coach for the Hastings Sodbusters, back in the win column today as they take a 13-3 8-inning run rule victory. Ryan Valenta, 3 more home games. Your last one tomorrow, as you're going to be leaving us, but we'll pay tribute to you every inning tomorrow. We'll do something fun. No, I'm just joking, but we'll figure out something to say nice tomorrow night. But good to have you on one more broadcast after a fun one today.
Well, I expect to be back maybe for some playoff games too, if that possibly could happen. Sodbusters still very much in the hunt. But yes, indeed, like the Sodbusters, we'll be saying farewell after maybe tomorrow's game, but we're going to treat it like it's a normal game too. It's been a lot of fun doing the 3 years, but let's keep the momentum going, and it's one of those games where you hope we save some offense for tomorrow. 13 runs here tonight. Seen too many times where teams will come out flat the next day. The Sodbusters have the momentum right now, and they know in the back of their minds that they need to keep winning games and keep the pressure on the other teams, because if you keep winning, keep the pressure on the other teams, a lot of them are going to fold, and that's just super awesome for the second straight year playing meaningful baseball. If we think back to 2023, we were just saying, all right, hopefully some guys can get some hits and some runs in the last few games when they didn't really mean much. So super cool.
He's Ryan Valenta. A big thank you to Mason Hinrichs, for Connor and Noah helping out in the other room on the tech side. Sodbusters and the Prospects will play again tomorrow, 6:35 the start time. We'll have it for you right here for Sodbuster Baseball. Final score once again from Duncan Field. It was Hastings 13, the Nebraska Prospects 3 in 8 innings. I'm Steve Stein. Good night.
Catch the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Get the ultimate fan experience at a Hastings Sodbuster game this summer. Enjoy high-level collegiate summer wood bat baseball at the beautiful and historic Duncan Field in Hastings. Baseball and a whole lot more. Affordable family fun. That's what the Sodbusters and the Independence League are all about. Sodbuster Baseball. It's your team.
Catch